Not the way they're... For defensive weapons, yes, not without stipulations.
Wait, defensive weapons against what? Against who?
Just as protection, I understand, like, Israel's always just had protective weapons and to support their Iron Dome, whether or not that's good or bad, it's just the way it is, the way I see it.
Do you think...
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not saying I know everything. I was curious about your topic, too. And I kind of don't. So I'm like, sure, I'll request that. Because I watch you, like, all the time. And I do like all of your... I normally am on your side. And I'm just like, I don't know anymore with this war. America's prime for crime in everything. We kind of come from crime.
What do you mean you come from crime?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
We're not the best history-wise. Like, we had slaves, we took over land, we were just bullies, murderers. We weren't good people in general. Like, we come from just not good things, so it's not surprising that, like, our current business practices aren't the best. It's unfortunate, but it's just not that surprising.
Go ahead, Athena.
What does that have to do with... Wait, can I ask you a question? Do you believe what's happening in Gaza right now is a genocide?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Alright.
Okay. Well, I mean...
Alright, should we go to the next person?
Nish, do you have anything you want to say?
I just got completely confused by what she said. To be honest with you, like, I understand the history that America doesn't exactly have a good track record, but it's not relevant to the situation at all. We have to talk about, like, current modern practices and things that we're saying are illegal, you know. But if she's acknowledging that it's a G side, she's technically on our side. She just thinks that they should continuously fund the Iron Dome. I do think, Julia, it should come with conditions, such as when they commit crimes like Shireen Abu Akleh a few years ago, that they should allow for investigations immediately rather than just giving them the money and letting them have carte blanche with all the crimes that they're committing and not allowing for independent organizations or the UN to come in and investigate. It should be very conditional where, yeah, we'll support your Iron Dome, but we're going to give these people a fighting chance if you sit there and commit these crimes in front of the world's eyes and deny them. Shireen Abu Akleh, they just concluded the investigation. They didn't completely conclude it last month, but last month CNN announced that it seemed like a targeted attack by Israeli forces. And this is over a year or two ago that this happened. And then she was our most prominent journalist. It should be very conditional. It shouldn't be just, yeah, we should fund them. Just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, so then yes, I agree, and then I will drop down. My bad for the confusion.
Okay.
Sorry, can you restate what you said? I was looking at something else.
She agrees, and she'll drop
Oh, she
down.
agrees? Okay. All right. Appreciate you coming up. All right. Let's get the next person up. Please only send a guest request if you do support the U.S. sending money to Israel.
Yeah. Before you go to your guest request, should I just announce the project real quick, actually?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So to the people here, let me introduce y'all to the project that we're starting, that I kind of like thought about, and Parker has been very kind enough to... Oh, no, wrong one. Sorry. There we go.
Here, I'll
Okay, if you
expand
could make
you.
me bigger, please. There we go. Okay, so... What did you say? Bro, F off. I am 5'2", okay? But anyway. The heightism is crazy. But anyways, as I was saying, so I kind of like thought up of this project called From from the river across the sea, which is basically kind of like a reference to the slogan "from the river to the sea," which means Palestine will be free. I kind of like wanted to focus on amplifying Palestinian voices for every live. This is going to be a series of lives that are hosted. And there are multiple debaters that are going to participate in these lives. The first two debaters, thankfully, were Mr. Jones and Parker as well. Like, literally, please, a round of applause for them. They were really, really kind enough to actually participate in this debate, and they enthusiastically also said yes. So I genuinely appreciate them. These are people that I've respected for so many years as well, and I've known them for a while as well. So I'm very happy that they've participated in this. Other debaters are going to participate, maybe some of your loved ones as well. That's going to be a surprise. You're not going to know that yet. But for now, we're going to be discussing this debate, and we're going to have a fundraiser. That fundraiser is going to be a painting being auctioned off that was painted by Don Trell. Mr. Jones is going to focus on that part soon. I think he's going to explain how it's going to be auctioned off. The money is going to go to Gaza. It's going to go specifically to people in Gaza who are on the ground, focusing for essentials like food, water, and medication as well. On each panel, I'll always try to have Palestinians present because, again, this is not about me. This is not about Parker. This is not about Mr. Jones. This is about really amplifying a Palestinian perspective because we live in a society that only amplifies very Zionist and one-sided perspectives. So this is going to be the fundraiser and the debate. This is the debut of everything. And for the coming weeks, it's going to be a recurring live. And for the coming weeks, you're going to have more debaters. So, yeah. Woo. Thank you. Mr. Jones, maybe you could introduce the painting that's being auctioned off, or the plate.
All right. In the meantime, everyone, do tap that screen. Do engage with the live to help push it out to more people.
Yeah. And the reason as to why this Palestinian child has like the American flag in their eyes is because even though Israel is causing the genocide, the genocide is still being funded by America as well, largely. And so okay. And the child is basically looking at America in general because America is guilty of like aiding and abetting in a genocide. And that's where I think a lot of people have known me on like debate talk, and you'll have heard me. I've never necessarily asked for a favor from y'all, but now I'm asking for a favor. And that favor is to mobilize off the app as well. So there's going to be a call to action that I want to issue, and I would really hope that you guys can mobilize actively off the app. Number one, raise awareness, right? So talk about this amongst your family, amongst your community, amongst social media as well. Actively try to talk about this issue, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in the West Bank. Number two, actively go to protests. Go to the protests, try to show up, try to show your support, try to show politicians that you are not going to support a genocide. Number 3, pressure your representatives as well. Call them, email them, show up at their office, just pressure them and tell them that you're not going to allow a genocide happening. Number 4, support student encampments. If you are a student, participate in student encampments. If you're not a student, you can go to those encampments, provide refreshments, words of encouragement, etc., whatever it is. Number 6, boycott. Any corporation that supports Israel needs to be boycotted. This is not a coercion, this is a call to action. If you don't want to participate, you don't have to participate. Go to the BDS movement list, look which stuff that you need to boycott. Number 6, vote on the local level and also the presidential elections. Like, don't just wait for the presidential election. So yeah, thank you very much. This is going to be the start of the project. But anyways, thank you, Parker. You can make me smaller.
All right, for sure. All right, let's try to get someone up here. Send a guest request if you do believe that the U.S. should be sending money to Israel, y'all. All right, let's get someone up here, y'all. All right. This person's name is Proud Zionist, so I'm guessing that they disagree with us.
Hello,
Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
And do you think that the U.S. should be sending money to Israel?
Yeah,
Yeah? Okay.
yeah, 100%.
Why so?
It's an ally, and they have contracts together. They give each other, they both give each other stuff. Israel gives intelligence to America, and it's a two-way system.
So do you think that like an ally can commit any war crime and you wouldn't care? And you'd still support them?
I mean, depends. I don't think Israel's committing war crimes.
What do you think? He said he doesn't believe
I
Israel
don't
committed
think
war
Israel's
crimes.
committing war crimes.
Yeah.
You don't believe they're war crimes?
Would you want to name one?
Yeah. Collective punishment.
Okay.
Collective punishment would be one example of a war crime. Forced displacement would be another example of a war crime.
We'll do one thing at a time. We'll do one thing at a time. It's not as if I don't. It's not as if I don't study it. So what collective punishment is? Maybe let me close the window. Hold the light. Hold on a second. Better now?
Are you okay?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to show me the collective punishments happening in Gaza?
Yeah. So when Yoav Golan on October the 9th literally said he was going to shut off the water, electricity, fuel, and implement a complete siege to all of Gazans, that is an example of collective punishment.
Okay. What people say and
it
actual
fake?
actions is completely different. What happened with the water?
Yes, it was cut off.
Okay, where was it cut off?
What do you mean, where was it cut off?
Which part of the water was cut off?
Again, fuel specifically was cut off,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah.
No.
So when you look at
water,
yes.
No. Some water was cut off. What percentage wise? And which part of Gaza was it cut off?
I can look that up actually. 1 second.
Go on.
But also, it's not necessary which part of Gaza it's cut off. It was cut off in
Yes.
general, and that's like, does it
I'll
like
tell
it?
you why. Okay, I'll tell you why. First of all, 90% of water comes from Gaza. Israel doesn't supply it. Israel
That's
supplies
not
10%
true.
of the water. It is
That's
true.
not true. No, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
You show
Because
me.
again, yeah. So hold on. So Amnesty, not Human Rights Watch, actually released an article in November of this year called Israelis Authority Cutting Off Water Leading to Public Health Crisis in Gaza and Blockade Restore Water and Electricity and Allow Fuel. So the fuel usually is used for the generators. Electricity also is used to kind of purify the water because water in Gaza is actually very contaminated and dirty and needs to be purified. The reason as to why water in Gaza is also very scarce and needs to be purified is because partially of Military Order 158, which has
So during
occupied
before
water
2020,
reserves and water infrastructure not only in Gaza but also in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Have you ever heard
Okay,
of Military
so
Order 158?
Also, I just want to
not
point out. Hold on.
the point I was trying to say, 90% of the water comes from Gaza.
Gotcha.
Do they
No,
need
that's
electricity?
that's actually not true.
Do they have-
I'll answer that question.
Okay, let me bring my laptop. I can get you
Okay,
this.
cool. So,
One
well,
second.
I don't really need you to do that. So about 90% of Gaza's water supply comes from the coastal aquifer basin, which runs along the eastern Mediterranean coast from Egypt through Gaza and into Israel. However, the water is brackish and contaminated due to seawater intrusion, over-extraction, sewage, and chemical infiltration. So yeah, no.
That's 90% of the water. That's
Yeah,
it's
90% of the
still
water.
90.
Comes from
Okay,
the
so
coastal
90%
aquifer basin, which runs along the eastern Mediterranean coast from Egypt through Gaza into Israel.
Okay, that water was never cut off. Which water was
Okay,
cut
it's
off?
it's not clean water. What part of that didn't you
But that's
understand?
still not, the fact that they don't have clean water is not Israel's problem.
Are
It's
they
their
allowed to
problem.
buy? Are they allowed to build water treatment facilities?
Yeah, they had
No.
the whole water system. You know,
Answer
they
is
had.
no.
I'll tell you, they had the whole water system in I think it was 2018. They had the whole pipeline, and then they ended up taking out the pipes.
What
and
is
using-
Military Order 158?
No,
What is
one
Military
second.
Order 158?
Stop
Can you answer that
changing the
question?
topic. I'm
No,
not
no,
speaking
no,
to
no.
you. Okay,
That
but-
question is a part of that topic. What is Military Order 158?
No, you can't just interrupt me when I'm trying to say a point. So they had a water system. I think it was donated by France. I think it was $2 billion it cost them. And what did they do with all the pipes? They dug them all out, and they were metal, so they used them as rockets, and they threw them
That's
into
not
Israel.
true.
That's
Provide
not
a
true.
source for that, please.
I'll get you a source. One second, let me get my laptop.
Mish, do you want to say something on
Yeah,
this?
as soon as he comes back with this source.
Okay. Yeah. So
They-
while he's doing that, so first of all, it's not true. They had plans to build a treatment plant, and they had been working on it since 1994. The Palestinian Water Authority in Israel would not allow the Israeli authorities would not allow them to break ground to build the water treatment facility.
Yeah, also to add, not even just Gaza, that I have an article over here as well. There's a prominent village in the West Bank that they completely destroyed its water supply. This is reported by Haaretz. I'm not receiving this from any other source. Like most of the links that I'm sticking to are specifically Israeli sources where they're talking about, hey, not only did they start poisoning their water supply, not only did they poison the pastures that the sheep were grazing on, they completely destroyed the well and said that this has no permit and it's a well that's over 100 years old. They completely destroyed it in the West Bank. And then another village that was required, a large farm required to fill its water basin from Jordan, right? Not only did they deal with higher taxes on the water coming in from Jordan, right? But they completely cut off that water supply. I think I could actually show you pictures of what their water basin looked like before and after the occupation. They would not let that farm fill. They needed, I think it says 2 million cubic whatever of water to run the farm. So they've been occupying water for a very long time. There's an Amnesty International article about it as well that I could pull up if you want.
Also, you
Okay.
can go to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and they talk about the siege of Gaza's water. Clean water is unavailable for most people living in Gaza, and Israeli airstrikes further destroyed their water infrastructure and wells.
They targeted them first.
Okay, so if you go, I can get plenty of which source do you want? What source do you want for the pipelines?
But what source do you have?
Yeah, what source do you have, bro? Like, what?
Let me get. Wait 1 second.
I hope it's that one source that I know has been debunked. Please let it be that one.
Yeah, as long as it's a credible one. Parker eats Israeli food. What the?
Like
Okay.
what?
What the hell is this?
This is from news18.com. I mean, they've actually published it. There's actually a video on their channel, so you can go watch the video.
News18.com.
Just type into Google. You'll find it. It's the first article that comes up. Pipes dug out in Gaza to make rockets, and there's plenty of articles about it. I'm watching it. It's actually never seen this before. www.news.at.com.
Israeli Defense Force, Crux, Stand With Us, The Telegraph, bro. Like none of these are credible sources. And then the first article from Reuters, says it's not true.
Where does it say? Where does let's put Reuters in? I don't see Reuters even made an article about it.
I typed in exactly what you told me to.
Yeah, just give us the title one more time. I'll make sure to look it up.
Okay, watch Gaza water pipes turn into Hamas rockets. News 18. Clear video. I don't want to show it on the live because it might get the live down. But see the video of them taking the pipes out.
Got to watch Gaza water pipes. What's after that?
Turn into Hamas rockets.
Wait, has that video been verified?
Yeah, so it says that Gaza, most of the rockets in Gaza came from Iran.
I didn't say it didn't come from Iran. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they took a pipe system that they had, which is meant to be for water, that you claim they don't have. They don't have clean water, and they're using that for rockets.
Yeah, they said that any pipes that were turned into rockets were dug up from abandoned Israeli settlements.
Where does it say that? Where are you reading that?
I told you from Reuters. I can also go. Hold on.
I couldn't find a Reuters.
This is the UK Daily Telegraph.
Also, can I just say, like, there's a
Is
break.
this like supposed to be a reenactment?
Yeah.
Like I'm serious. Why is it like 4K with like cinematic footage? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This was a age group actually released that video. I remember them releasing that video.
So it says here, the first article that had supported this claim had been made in the UK-based Telegraph by a Brussels correspondent, Joe Barnes. Joe Barnes based his claim on a video that was posted on social media by Farhan Jeffrey, who's a deputy director of a policy think tank called Islamic Theology of Counterterrorism. And then it goes down to say, to go back to the original allegation, it shows a video that was supposedly posted showing the age group digging up water pipes, which is the video that you showed, to make rockets, right?
Where they get all this fucking equipment from?
Wait 1 second. Now, despite ITCT's deputy director, Farhan, making such allegations, there is no research article on the ITCT website on this issue, even as it publishes articles on blasphemy laws in the Middle East, British citizens unalived elsewhere, etc. ITC says their aim is not only to counter the menace of Islamic terrorism, but also to educate misguided Muslims who are leaning towards Islamist extremism. So it's basically a claim that was based on an unverified video.
I want to know. Hold on. I want to know where they got all of this fucking equipment from. Why they painted the rockets and spray painted S40 on the side. Like, can I show them this video is absurd.
I don't know if I don't
If
know.
we
I
can
don't
show
wanna
this,
get banned.
okay, that's fine.
But this video is kind of absurd. I'm sorry, but like
this is
did
a
they
joke.
Have, like, did they have some like content creation team?
Right.
They have like cinematic 4K footage.
What's the joke about it? You could clearly see them taking it. What's so
This
weird about
isn't
it?
real, bro.
Why is it not real? What makes you think it's not real?
Okay.
It looks like
Where did
like
they
it-
get forklifts from?
How are they building?
Where did they
buildings
get
in
cranes
Gaza?
No,
from?
I'm just I don't know. The
How are they
4K
building
footage is
buildings in
wild.
Gaza? There's plenty of tractors building this stuff. These stuff are in Gaza.
Hey, listen. I think we can show this, Parker. And if this
No, I think it's gonna really take the live down because
Oh,
the
you
live.
do?
I would say it would too.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's-
I genuinely think it would.
Yeah,
it definitely would. Like watching it, but like it's literally like I would
but
recommend
this is
looking at it. Chat,
this is so
'cause
fake.
yourself.
You can maybe post it in your server, Parker.
Yeah, I could post it in like the server. Everyone.
Okay.
Mish, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna add.
Wait, hold on one second. Mish wanted to say something.
There's
I
not a
was gonna
single
add
article.
majority.
I'm sorry.
The majority of the stockpiles that were either raided by the IDF during the siege on Gaza, this is from a New York Times article that came out in January this year. The majority of the stockpiles were spent and used casings of Israeli weapons that were used on Gaza. There are Israeli rockets that were used on Gaza that have been repurposed, their metal repurposed and spare powder and whatnot repurposed into Hamas H group rockets. The majority of the weapons that they've used have literally been fired on them and then fired back. They've been repurposed, re-engineered, and fired back. The majority of this is from a New York Times article. You just have to Google where is H group getting its weapons, increasingly from Israel. This is the New York Times. Just earlier this year, there's
You
countless
take any
articles just like
nuclear metal and use it back on Israel. We all know that. It's not secret. They're not, the problem is they're not taking the metal that they're making. They're not taking the metal that they're
decommissioning their
making.
water
Oh, wait,
supply.
can you wait? Hold on
Jeopardizing-
one second. Can you let him finish? By the way.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So you're saying they're decommissioning their own water supply, jeopardizing their own water supply to use plastic pipes and use them to build rockets. That doesn't comprehend like where it doesn't even have the tensile strength to actually do anything. It doesn't work. And like from an engineering perspective, it doesn't
Well,
work.
let's correct you. It's metal pipes. It's not plastic pipes. But
The
okay.
pipes from one of the pictures that I saw that was going around on through Israeli lives, they were plastic pipes, not plastic. It was the really hard plastic, like PVC pipes. Okay.
You can,
So
no,
the
you can-
majority of the weapons that have been used on Israel came from Israel initially. Period. Doesn't matter what you say. The stockpiles that they found, they were all Israeli weapons. I almost don't even want to show. Like I could just Google the article. New York Times, January 28th.
Can you check this, Parker?
What's the headlines of your article?
Where is H group getting its weapons? Increasingly from Israel. New York Times.
Yeah. It's, where's the mouse getting its weapons? Okay.
Israeli
Oh.
officials quoted saying they knew that H group can recommission the weapons, but the scope in which they've done so has startled us. Israeli diplomats and weapons experts have been quoted saying.
Yeah, I see that. I see the headlines. I can't read the whole thing because of I don't have a subscription for the thing. But I don't see a point in that. I agree with you. They take any method they get opportunity to, and they use it to attack Israel.
But where's the whole we're decommissioning and we're jeopardizing our own water supply thing come from? It's also like saying the whole, we have military bases in kindergartens. It's
And by
just
the way,
to
that's-
justify.
By the way, just for your information, that's just for the rockets, for all the guns and all the stuff they have. You can read an AP article. The headlines is H group fights with a patchwork of weapons built by Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea. So that the method that they do use against Israel.
Hey Zionist, can I add you right back up in a second? I think we want to address them real quick, and then I'll add you right back up. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, for sure. Just hop back in the guest box real quick.
Thank you.
For sure. Here, I'm also making you super mod.
What are we about to do?
No, because
Can I talk?
Yasin is from
yeah.
Gaza. He
Oh, yeah,
specifically
go
wanted
ahead.
to say something, and I don't want an Israeli or a Zionist being on the same panel with a person from Gaza. Assalamu alaikum, Yasin.
I am sorry. لا. عليكم السلام. أختي احكي أنت عشان النت عندي ضعيف جدا وأنا في الشارع عشان احكي عشان أنا في الشارع واحكي يعني عني إيش المطلوب
ميش
كله.
أنت تقدر تترجم ولا لا؟
انا بقدر
عشان
احاول اترجم، بس الصراحه حبيبي يا ياسين العربي تبعي مكسر شوي، بس بحاول قد ما بقدر.
يا حكي العربي حكي كمان يا ياسين. والله آسفة، العربي حكي مش 100%. Yasin?
They muted.
Oh, I think there's... So Yasin is in Gaza. He's from northern Gaza. And we'll try to help translate. And I think he's losing, he doesn't have good data. That's why.
Yeah, and for those asking to translate, he was telling us to translate, and we were explaining to him how hard we're going to try to translate, by the way.
Yeah.
In the meantime, everyone do tap that screen and share the live to help get it out to more people, everyone. If you can, of course.
يا ياسين أنت هنا؟ اسمعني يا ياسين.
أي موجودة يا أختي بس النت ضعيف
النت ضعيف.
سامعك سامع بس النت ضعيف وعندنا طيران مكثف فالنت عندنا ضعيف ومشوش.
Okay. He's basically saying he can hear us, but like the mobile data is like really, really weak because there are also airplanes like around as well. طيب تفضل إيش تبغى تقول ونحن نقدر نترجم لك؟
أنا بدي أحكي بسرعة سامحيني عشان أنا ياسين. my name is Yasin. I am from the North Gaza. This place in the now and the دربلح. شخصيا أنا بدي أبلم تبرعات للناس المحتاجة الموجودة هنا، لأنه موجود حوالي 70,000 نازح فلسطيني من الشمال للجنوب. أنا يوجد بايبال، يوجد كونفد مي. أرجو من كل الجميع أرجو من كل الجميع أن يتبرعوا لأنه غزة بحاجة إليكم. غزة بحاجة إليكم. أرجو التبرع donation and والمساعدة لشعب غزة. يوجد بايبال، يوجد كونفد مي، فيلو بيج. بليز جايز. وأنا يعني قاعد في الشارع وبخاطر في حالي. وتفضلي يا أختي.
Mish, do you want to do it or should I do it?
Yeah, so he said he's with ياسين المرة الجاي نقدر نحاول نروح شوي عشان لما قلت الأرقام والشمال وجنوب غزة حاولت أمسك عليها شوي بس ضيعت صراحة في من الأرقام بالضبط. But he said something about that he's in an environment in Gaza in Deir Balah where there's around 70,000 or so people, all in dire need. Specifically
from northern Gaza, who moved there, yeah.
Northern Gaza. Yeah, when the directions in Arabic is where I get lost every time. I swear to God, I get stumped. Sorry about that. Thank you. So that there's 70,000 or so people in Deir Balah in northern Gaza in critical need. Supplies from anything from Rafah, what is barely making it into Rafah, is not making it into the north, and they're completely isolated from the rest of Gaza essentially. And what he's attempting to do, and whatever it is that he can receive, whatever it may be, TikTok, PayPal, whatever it is that we could donate, would be of great help to him as well as the 70,000 or so people. I'm pretty sure that. Somebody say something?
Confed me, share and the confed me, the link and the confed me. Link, share. The confed me and the bio.
هو عنده GoFundMe. Okay, so he has specifically like a GoFundMe that focuses only on water distribution. I know Yasin, he has worked with so the GoFundMe in his bio link is specifically about water redistribution to people in Gaza. He also said like he does have other ways like PayPal or something like that. If you go to his page, you can see those ways. And then he usually distributes that water on a live, and he also just, like, takes photos and shows the photos as he is distributing that water. So he does have a PayPal. He has a GoFundMe in his bio. I personally would suggest maybe the PayPal, because the GoFundMe, he cannot kind of like withdraw the money until he has like reached his goal. So like he's really, really in desperate need, and there are just no donations coming in, and people really need drinking water. Yeah. تفضل يا ياسين.
Is there anything else someone would want to address right now?
عندك كمان شيء تبغى نترجم لك يا ياسين؟ تفضل. ياسين؟
ياسين انت على ميوت.
عامل ميوت صحيح. الباي بال موجودة في صفحتي، في صورة
ايه
باي
قلت
بال.
لهم.
الباي بال
قلت
في
لهم.
صورة عندي، واللي
ايه
حابب
قلت
بده
لهم يا
إياها
ياسين.
ببعت له إياها خاص.
Yeah, قلت لهم يا ياسين. The PayPal can be found in like his page. It can be found as a photo. And what's called, like, it's in his bio as well if you need help. So like you can go to his page. Okay, I think we're, yeah. He
Yeah,
just
the
needs
QR
help.
code is in the videos, everyone. There's a QR code for you to look up, everyone. It's a post. But yeah, should we get back to the conversation or should we give it a
يا
second?
ياسين، هو حينزل الدحين، بس إن شاء الله يحميك والله يحمي عائلتك كمان ياسين. و I will send you a message. طيب هكتب لك. هو حينزل لك دحين. Okay.
نعم.
هو حينزل لك دحين، بس
مسامع
الله
بسمع.
يحميك والله يحمي عائلتك كمان. قلت لهم ويا إنه أنت مش help me.
اوكي ماي سيستر.
Yeah. طيب مع السلامة والله يحميك إن شاء الله. Okay, you can.
Okay. All right. So should I add up the guest? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, you can drop him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
They dropped.
Yeah, so like I think like a rule would be as well for the project: when anybody from Gaza is on the panel, don't let a Zionist in.
All right, you're welcome back. Are you there?
Yes, so I wanted to address a very important point. What do you consider the age group? Do you consider resistance, terrorists? What do you guys consider them? So I know what I'm trying to, so I can get to know you better about this. So going. Okay, go on. So unaliving innocent people is okay with you. So if you're oppressed, so going and unaliving innocent people is okay with you. That's what I'm asking you. I'm not. If you go and unalive all the people from the plantation, yes. If they're keeping you their hostage, okay. If you're unaliving the people that are keeping you enslaved, then yeah, that's justified. I agree with you. Okay, so now I'm asking you. So going and unaliving innocent people, is that okay with you or not? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not saying you said that. I'm asking you, is that okay with you? Yes or no? Yeah, so you don't support what they're doing. Okay, so you don't support what happened on October 7th, I'm assuming. Okay. Okay, we can. How many?
Proud Zionist, is innocent people dying always wrong under your view?
If you target them, yes.
Okay, so you think that
No,
Israel isn't targeting citizens?
100%. I mean, we can go look at the numbers. Israel actually has the least amount of people dying, ratio-wise, between civilians and militants in urban warfare in history.
Can I say something?
No country in the world ever has such a good number.
That's just not true.
Yeah, let me just finish saying. If you go look at the ratio between civilians and militants, it's about, for every one civilian dying, for every one militant dies, around 1.2 civilians die. That's if you can give me a urban warfare in history that's better than that, then we can speak about it. I don't think
I'll explain something to you real quick. Gaza specifically, the UN and health organizations had to come up with a new classification for people in combat zones, and that's wounded child, no surviving family. Does that sound like no civilians? Does that sound like a 1.2 ratio? Wounded child, no surviving family. Imagine your entire family doesn't survive and
How
you're
many
missing a
people
leg.
are alive so far? We can go into we can check the numbers. The numbers
Hey,
are not
Nish,
going to
I'm so
matter.
sorry to interrupt you,
How many
Nish,
people have been died
but so I want
Oh,
to
sorry,
say
guys.
two things.
I
Number one,
didn't
today,
realize I muted
the
my mic.
United Nations on Juneteenth actually released a report saying, and I quote, Israel's deliberate use of heavy weapons in the Gaza Strip has been an intentional and direct attack on the civilian population. The new report that was released today, that was presented to the United Nations Human Rights Council, said that the Israeli military operating in Gaza not only, and I quote, forcibly transferred almost the entire population into a small enclosure that is unsafe and uninhabitable, but they also said, and used heavy weapons in densely populated areas in an, and I'm quoting, intentional and direct attack on the civilian population. So not only does this report, one second, no, and then it says here, although Israeli officials have repeatedly stated that their operations in Gaza are intended to destroy the age group and release hostages, yet neither of these aims has been largely achieved at the expense of thousands of lives. We found that Israeli forces committed sexual and gender-based violence with the intent to humiliate and further subordinate the Palestinian community. Palestinian women were targeted and subjected to sexual violence and harassment online and in person. Men and boys experienced specific persecutory acts including sexual and gender-based violence amounting to torture and inhumane, cruel treatment. So
You
not
wrote that?
only did the United Nations wait 1 second, I'm just
No, no, no.
presenting this, right?
I
No,
know-
1
I
second.
know the whole- I
Wait,
know the
hold
whole
on 1
outcome.
second. Calm down. I will let you respond. Not only did the United Nations say that it was an intentional attack on Palestinian civilians, but also they put Israel on a blacklist. Did you know that? They put Israel on a blacklist of countries like Saudi Arabia, Syria, ISIS, basically a blacklist of children being harmed.
Okay. Now for the point is the article that you read before. Who wrote it?
Did he cut out?
No, the person, the article that you read before from the UN. Who wrote the article?
Article.
Let me see. 1 second.
Then go check her stance on Israel.
Navi Pillai, the chairperson of the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian
Okay,
Territories.
so do you agree when someone does an investigation, they shouldn't be biased?
What do you mean biased? How is she biased? What has she said?
Go Google her stance on Israel before October 7th. You don't have to go. You don't have to go after October
Navi
7th.
Pillai?
No, yeah. How do you spell
We
it?
have to demonstrate that though. Can you give me specific examples as to why she would be not credible?
Hey,
How do you spell it?
Athena, do you mind if I
Yeah.
I tag in for just a second?
I'm sorry, I think
You just
Mish
said-
was talking and I interrupted him, to
Oh,
be
okay.
fair.
You want to just spell me the name of Navi Pillai? How do you spell it?
Mish, you can continue. I can look it up. Wait,
Yeah,
you...
so
Continue, Mish.
no, you're good. I'm literally just I'm jumping into my car so you and Mr. Jones could go. I was just asking him about, just wounded child, no surviving family. How does that match up to the statistic that he tried to put out there? It makes no sense. It doesn't add up to me.
Okay, the
It
numbers.
does
The
not. It
numbers
does
don't
not add
lie.
up.
Okay, so the numbers don't lie. How many children have died so far in Gaza? By the way, every child died. How many children have died?
It's an excess of it's over 17,000 right now. That's not to count the wounded,
No.
women and children. We're giving
not-
women and
that's
children,
not-
and we're giving you guys a grace area of we're just gonna let you consider every male, every grown man a combatant. We're not even arguing for them. We're not even arguing from them. We're just saying the woman and the children.
That's why the UN changed the number. It was around a month ago. They changed it to around 7,000 children.
That's not true.
So no.
7,000 children out of 23,000 people. I think
That's not true.
They didn't change it to that. Isn't that just fully identified?
Yes.
Yeah, but they wrote out 23,000, 7,000 was the children. So if you do the math, and 5,000.
No, they still say 30. It's 36 or 40,000 now.
20,000 people identified. There was 23,000 people identified. Out of those, I don't remember the exact number. It's 20 something.
No, not identified. Fully identified.
Okay, I'm saying 20,000 and something, or 23, I think it was around, were identified. Out of those 20,000, around 7,000 was children, 5,000 were women. If you do the math altogether, 7,000, that's 13,000, and then 10,000 is militants, is adults, is men.
Would that be okay?
Wait, can
If
you
he's,
repeat that?
if he's considering every male I think so. That's around 10,000.
I'm going to read what they said specifically. The UN maintains that Gaza's health ministry overall death toll of more than 35,000 people killed in the ongoing Israeli military offensive in Gaza is reliable. Here's a closer look at the figures. The UN humanitarian agency citing Gaza's health ministry says that 797 children and 4,959 women were killed in Gaza as of April 30. Those figures, however, only account for 70% of deaths fully identified. The UN says Gaza's health ministry has been only able to identify 24,686 deaths out of more than 35,000 people. The ministry says
how much? 20 how much thousand? 21?
24,686.
Out of 24,000 people.
Yeah, they're still working to fully identify these other bodies.
Okay, but
which
out
it
of the
continues to
24,000
say. Which it continues
so
to
out of
say.
the
10,000 or
24,000
more deaths.
Okay, I agree with you. So out of the 24,000, How many of it is children and how many of it is women?
14,500.
No, that's not true. 7 and 5
And
is
when
not
they say
14,000.
identify, they
Bro,
mean
I
track
just read
bodies
it to you.
to names, to
That's
things
7
that
and
they
5.
places they lived, people they interacted with, family members.
The,
I agree
the
with you.
Council
All the
on Foreign
information.
Relations.
So when they say fully identify, that means that you would have to have all of that information identified, which doesn't happen
so
always in the context of murder cases in the United States as well.
I agree
As
with you,
of May
Pablo.
12th, as of May 12th, 2024, they have been able. There's 9,500 women and over 14,500 children that have been unalive, for a total of 34,735. Now they know that that's how many bodies there are. They just haven't fully identified all of them.
Okay, so now can we speak about the fully identified people? So that's the most reliable,
What
and then we can.
No,
Okay.
no,
You'll
we're not.
understand-
No,
you'll
no,
understand
no,
why.
no,
You'll
no.
understand
Because
why
we're not
in a
going
minute.
to. We're not going to act as if those bodies aren't people simply because we don't know their names.
No, you'll understand why. You'll understand my point in a
No.
minute. So let's
No.
we'll
No.
go to this, and then we'll go to the border. No, we'll count the whole thing in the end. We'll
No.
take the percentage wise from
No.
the verified, and then we'll go to everything. Out of the verified people, 5,000 were women, 7,000 were children. Correct?
No. Wait, hold on.
8,000. 7,970 something is 8,000. Right?
So 5,000 and 8,000. We're rounding both up. Correct? So
Could you make it
7,500.
bigger,
That's
Parker?
that's 13,000 people altogether. 24. So that means 11,000 were men.
What
and-
does this say?
And
Proud Zionist, can you read this out for me?
the death toll of women
Wait, Proud Zionist, can you read this out for me? What does this say?
revived down. UN denies Gaza death toll of women, children has been revived down.
Yeah. So
Revived.
did you know that the United Nations spokesperson who was in charge of that? Oh, thank you for turning off the comments so we can see better. The United Nations spokesperson who was literally in charge for the report, he himself said he denied that the estimated death toll of women and children in the war in Gaza has been revised downward, pointing towards a confusion between the total number of dead bodies recorded and the number of those who have so far been fully identified.
Thank you.
And this doesn't even take into account the people who are stuck under the rubble, who are over 10,000 people who are missing under the rubble. So the spokesperson clearly stated that the death toll for women and children has not been revised down, and the overall death toll has also not been revised down. So if you're going to try to attempt to say that, actually, let's go here. What does it say here?
If anything, it's
It says
higher.
here, they showed 24,686 dead, which appeared to be a downward revision from the figure of about 35,000, which had been reported earlier in May, with 7,797 children, which is what you said, and 4,951 women confirmed dead. About half the toll cited in previous reports, but the UN said on Monday that estimated overall death toll remained about 35,000. Farhan Haq, a UN spokesperson who was in charge of that report, said the new smaller numbers reflected those bodies which had been fully identified. The bigger figures included corpses from whom identification has so far not been completed. Haq said it was expected that as the process of identification continued, the official tolls among women and children would also rise.
And I think it's ironic that they didn't read these things and they said the corpses.
Okay.
It literally shows you there are bodies. They just haven't fully identified them. So you saying that less people died is not a justified statement.
Exactly.
No,
and
I can prove it.
quite
I
literally,
can
both
prove
of
it.
us gave you multiple sources
I can
from
prove to
multiple.
you that the article is incorrect. I can prove to you.
It's not an
Simple math.
article, it's a spokesperson whose
Spokesperson-
report
I
you're
can prove
citing.
The spokesperson for the UN is incorrect, and I can prove to you
No,
the simple
you
math.
are citing his
No,
report.
I can prove to you from the report that
That's his report.
They said that
Wait,
15,000
hold on.
children, 15,000 children
Wait,
is a lie.
Zionist.
I can prove to you with simple math.
But that's his report that you're citing. You're
Okay, and I can
citing
prove you
his
wrong.
report, saying he is wrong, while citing his report.
I can.
The crazy
I
thing
can
is
prove
I
to-
gave you
yes,
the
I'm
Council
using
on
this
Foreign
article-
Relations.
I'm using
I
this
gave you
article
the
to prove
United
they wrong.
Nations. I gave you UNICEF. I gave you 3 separate organizations that reported, you know what I'm saying, nearly identical numbers. And you're like, nope, they're all wrong.
Do you know which think tank
Yeah.
spread
So you
that?
guys knew it was breaking up.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
are you guys gonna let me speak, or are you guys just gonna go together the
Yes,
whole
yes,
time?
of course.
So let's prove to you from this own article that it's wrong. Let's do 24,000 people. 7,000 of it was 8,000. My mistake. 8,000 of it was women, children. 5,000 was women. That's altogether 13,000. Correct. What's the you guys claim the official number of the amount of women and children died? You said 15 and 8. 50, how many women and how many children? From the 34,000 number?
Wasn't it 70
You guys
or
want to give an answer?
70%?
Yeah, it's over 15,000, about 16,000, and the over 10,000 women, I think. Yeah.
So that's 26,000 altogether, correct?
About, yeah.
Okay, 26,000. Have that in mind. Now, 14 altogether, we calculated out of the 24,000, 8,000 was women, 8,000 was children, 5,000 was women. That's altogether 13,000. We add to that another 10,000 because 24,000 plus we went to get to 34,000, which is the death toll now.
I'm sorry, what is
another
this?
10,000.
Is this
Now
like
to get to the death. No, this is simple maths. From
This
the
is
death
boy
toll from
math?
24,000, you guys claim the death toll is 34. If you add 13,000 plus 10,000, we're assuming all the other unidentified people as all women and children, that's 23,000. You said before the amount of children and women died is 26. So the own maths that you guys are claiming to be true, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't connect. That's assuming.
So I don't know what you're saying right now. Like respectfully,
Okay, after
what are you
I'll tell
saying?
Again.
This is like
I
2
feel like
plus
this is
2
one of
is-
those like in school where they tell you to show your work. I need you to show your work. You got a whiteboard around somewhere?
Okay, let me get it.
Tessa, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it, Tessa.
I got a $5 Cash App from Lithium. He told me to tell Proud Zion, you're gross.
Mish, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. He knows, as of, I think it was November specifically, there was a UN report. It said 89% or 79% of structures in Gaza, right, were rendered completely decommissioned, destroyed, or completely inhabitable. 80% of the structures in Gaza rendered completely out of commission. That's mass destruction. Doesn't matter how you look at it, doesn't matter what numbers that you try to add up and say, yeah, but carry the 3. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. 80% of it was destroyed, period. Does that sound like everybody could have gotten away at time? Could
You want to make it big?
you live in America with far more infrastructure, or you live in the West with more infrastructure, right? If one small thing happens in the city that I'm in right now, on the highway that I'm driving on right now, one small thing happens, I'm stuck in traffic for 4 hours. You understand what I'm saying? That all these people are expected to have evacuated in just simple, no problem, with missiles dropping all around them, while 80% of anything standing in Gaza got leveled or partially destroyed. You expected them to actually have gotten out. Your numbers aren't making sense. I'm not sitting here playing numbers with you. It's irrelevant. It is mass destruction. There are mass casualties of innocents, okay, on unprecedented scales, period.
Okay.
Sitting here trying to, but the numbers aren't so bad.
I'll show you math
who else
doesn't
said
make
the
sense.
numbers weren't so bad?
Okay, and I'll show you your math doesn't make sense. Can you make my screen bigger? You wanted to see
Okay.
what you wanted to see. Okay, the number of identified bodies is 24,000. 8,000 is women. 8,000 is children. 5,000. 5,000 of it is women. Altogether, it's 13,000. Are you with me? Are you with me,
Yep.
Mr. Jones? Okay. Now from the 34,000. What did you say the amount of children? You said 16,000. Okay, 16,000. And what was the woman? Kobe, you're the one that said the number. Do you mind saying it again? Or was it Mish?
Yeah, I have it here. 1 second. It was somewhere over 9,000, I think. Hold on. Over like 10,000 approximately. More than
Okay,
9,500.
Let's say 9,500 to be better for you. 9,500. Okay? You add these two together. is 25,500. Are you with me? Over here. Okay. Now listen why it doesn't make sense. Listen to why it doesn't make sense. Now, the difference between these, this is the 34,000, which is the unconfirmed, unidentified, all identified. This is the 24,000, which is all identified. Now, we add another 10,000 to this side. And let's assume the 10,000 that's unidentified is all women and all children. The
Are
number
you saying
get
the proportion of women and children is lower under the revised total?
No, you understand? Let's assume the 10,000 that's not identified yet is all women and children, for argument's sake, so you guys can claim that all women and children. The number you get is 23,000, correct? Are you with me? Let's assume the 10,000 that's unidentified out of the 34 is all women and children. So the number you get of the women and children dead is 23,000.
I don't know what you're saying right now. Is anyone
We
keeping
saw
track?
from the identified numbers.
It's making zero sense to me. It's
Simple
making
math.
he's sitting
يا
here.
وميش ميش لا تقول لهم انه انت عم
What's hard over
تشوف
here?
لا
It's
تقول لهم
literally
انه
simple
انت
maths. 13,000
طيب
Why are we adding 10K?
because there's 10K that's not identified yet.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean from the... No, you have 11.
No, it's 20. It's 30. Okay, is it 35,000 unalived? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're adding another 11, so it's 24,000, correct?
I'm sorry, this is just
Now,
That's nice job.
so now we're assuming
Dude.
for argument's sake. For your argument's sake, we're saying the 10,000 is women and children. You get 24,000, correct? Your maths over here says 25,000. So you're 1,000 off. You are 1,000 off. So you lied about 1,000 women and children.
Dude, because it's talking about corpses fully identified versus corpses not fully identified. Bro, are you serious?
This is the 34,000. This is the 35,000 that you guys have.
He's cooking,
Let's
bro.
not forget. You got 35,000. You're 1,000 off. You're 1,000
Wait.
off here. So you guys claimed you had 25,000. Actually, 25,500 actually.
You can't be for real.
Not only
So
that,
if
but
you
like
want to-
again, you're comparing the non-fully identified one to the fully identified one.
Okay,
So
there's
obviously
9,000.
The fully
Here, I'm
identified
gonna do
are
this.
going to be lower than the
Not
ones not
compare.
identified.
You actually didn't correct that.
Here,
Not
so
comparing.
here, this is what the Council on Foreign Relations says. So 9,500 women plus 14,500 children is 24,000 exactly. So
19,000.
yeah,
Okay, so you're
it's
trying to say the
14,500. 14,500. Well, here, matter of fact, hey, put me on the big screen, Parker,
Okay.
just so that everybody thinks I'm bullshitting.
yeah.
I know my screen's not mirrored. 9,500 women, 14,500 children. If you add those
What
two
date is
numbers, and then you
What
add those
date is
two
that?
numbers, it's
What's the date?
24,000.
What's the date for that?
So it literally.
What's the date for that?
May 12th, 2024. May 12th,
Okay.
2024.
So you're telling
So you
me-
just
so you're
you
telling
just
me-
blew up your own dumb
Okay,
math.
okay,
You just
okay.
blew up
So
your own
let's-
dumb math. So thank you.
So let's just.
Hey, we'll take that W.
Let's say
We'll take that
let's say
W.
it's
Thank you. We'll take that
You're
W.
telling
Thank you.
me- So you're telling me the 10,000 unidentified is all women and children all of a sudden? So the only people you identify is the people you identify is all
We'll
the
take
men
that
you managed
W.
to identify.
We'll take that W.
Wait,
All
why
the
would we
women-
have to say that? Why would we have to say that? That the rest of the
To
unidentified
make your numbers
ones-
be equal, to make your numbers be accurate.
We'll take that
24,000.
W.
Wait. Actually, no. So what you're then saying is that because the proportionality of women and children is different with the revised total versus or with the fully identified versus the non-fully identified, means that there's some sort of inaccurate information here, which is not something I would hold to. I would just say that it's probably likely that children are less likely to be fully identified.
Also,
that
children
make
make up
sense?
the vast majority of the population in Gaza. Children make up
So
the
the
vast
10,000
majority of
number
the
you have-
population.
So
In
the
addition to
10,000
that,
number you
if you
have is
didn't
done-
notice,
We're trying to
there's the
it's
same
exactly people
variance.
identified as all
There's the
women and
same
children.
variance in both the identified and the unidentified and identified numbers. There's an
I'm sorry.
11,000 gap.
The
There's
difference
11,000 person
between
gap.
Unidentified and identified.
Yeah.
You're not good at this, bro.
Which is 10,000.
First of
You're not
all,
good at this.
like,
Which is 10,000 is all. Sorry, my mistake. You're trying to say all women and children. So the 10,000 is unidentified automatically all women and children.
What are the demographics in Gaza?
What do you mean by the demographics?
You don't know what demographics means, my guy?
Sorry, my English is not that great.
Okay.
To be accurate.
The demographics would be like what percentage of men, women, children, so on and so forth make up the population.
Oh, so around 60%. I think it's 55% is children, and I think the woman and men is around equal.
Also, Amish, did you hear what I said? لا تقول لهم إنه أنت عم تسوقنا.
Alright. I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, so I was just gonna add real quick that 1 out of 5 people in Gaza are grown men.
So
1 out of 5.
here's the actual 47.3% are under the age of 18. 47.3%.
That's around 50%.
What's that?
That's around 50%.
Yeah, it's around 50%. Let's see how many are women.
I don't, Proud Zionist, I don't understand what your point is.
The point is, the unidentified numbers, something doesn't make sense of it. The way.
What about it doesn't make sense? Can you just tell me?
Is with you're trying to assume that all unidentified people is all women and children.
Nope.
Which doesn't make sense.
Nobody said that.
No, that's not even what they're saying. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. To make the number be 24,000, like they claim, is you have to make all the.
Why do we have to make the number 24,000?
That's the claim you have for the amount of women and children dead.
Okay, so you're talking about overall amount of women and children. Why? Wait, I'm confused. No, you wouldn't have to.
If you want the number to be the claim that you guys are making is 24,000 people that are dead, women and children. That's the claim.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What were you saying?
The claim the Palestinian side is trying to say is 24,000 women and children got unalive so far. Correct?
25,000 women and children. Are you talking about under the fully identified or non-fully identified?
Non-fully
identified. Non-fully identified. Isn't that overall 25,000?
They claim 24,000.
Okay.
Now
that's for fully that's full identification.
That's for. No, do you understand that the fully identified is still in the number of the unfully identified?
Okay, so respectfully, at this point,
saying, bro?
wait, hold on. Respectfully, at this point, provide a source, okay? Because you have not provided any actual source. Wait, I was on mute. I don't know why you're over talking me. So again, you have not provided any source. What you have shown us is 2 + 2 is 5 simple maths, and it hasn't made any sense. So instead of showing us your boy maths, maybe provide a source, an actual credible source. Because Time Magazine, one second, Time Magazine has already said the science is clear. Over 30,000 people have been unalived. The Lancet journal had also said that the numbers are not inflated, that over 30% have been unalived. The United Nations has also said over 30,000 people have been unalived. So where are you getting your numbers from?
I'm not trying to say
provide a source, an actual credible source.
I'm not trying to say 30,000 people are unalived. I'm not unalived. I'm not trying to say that. You're misunderstanding. I'm trying to say, out of those 30,000 people unalived, the claim that 24,000 of it is women and children is incorrect.
Okay, provide a source for that claim. You made that claim. Provide a source to back it up.
I gave you the maths. I showed it to you.
Your math did not make any sense.
Which calculations
listen. At that point, you're trying to convince us that
where was I wrong? Tell me where I was wrong.
You're trying to convince us that 2 + 2 is 7 at this point, right? And doesn't make sense. Provide a source for that claim. That the number. No.
The number's incorrect.
So you made the claim.
You're saying that the number's incorrect is just irrelevant.
No. You trying to do math on some on some piece of paper is what's irrelevant, my guy.
Where was I wrong in the maths? Where was I wrong? You saying that
I couldn't follow what you were doing at all. I don't know why you said that all of them have to be women and children. I wasn't catching that at all.
Because the claim of the unidentified people that died is women and children is 24,000. Do you understand that?
No, that's of the fully identified.
No, that's from the
That's
amount
for everyone involved. If you're talking, okay, you mean the calculation of the women and children, as it relates
women and
to,
children are
so it'd be
alive.
24,000 divided by 35.
No, the women and children unalived from the non-fully identified from the number the whole number is 24,000. That's the Palestinian claim, correct?
24,000 women and children died. Yeah.
That's the
That has
Palestinian
been
number.
corroborated. No. That's not the Palestinian claim. That has been corroborated by independent bodies as well.
No independent body has verified it. Not one.
Hold on. That has been backed up by other independent outside sources as well. Do you want me to give you the sources? Actually, independent bodies, including American officials, have actually actively said that this was like an underestimate, and they believe that more people have been unalived.
No organization has went in to do their own investigation. The only investigation they have is the Gaza Ministry of Health, which is Hamas. But the point is, from the 24,000 number that you have, from the 24,000 number that you have, which is women and children, doesn't make sense.
You just keep saying it doesn't make sense. I don't know what your dispute of it was.
But I showed you from the identified numbers, we have 14,000 women and children alive. So you're trying to say the 10,000 people that haven't been identified.
Okay, one question, Zionist. Even if it were 7,000, which it isn't. Wait, Mish, did you want to say something? Because you unmuted.
I didn't say 7,000. I think it's around 8,000 and 8,000. If you do the exact math,
Wait, one second, Mish.
Wait, so most of the unidentified are innocents? Yeah, I don't see what the issue is with accepting that. Even if they had a mustache.
If you take your numbers, all of the unidentified is what is women and children.
No, there would be an extra thought. You're missing 1,000 there.
Not.
Yeah, you are. We 11.
Yeah, and I added another 1,000 to your side. I added another 1,000.
I don't know what you're saying there. It wasn't all, but you could say it's a high percentage. What's the issue?
It's 8,000 plus 5,000, which is 13,000. So 13,000 is from the identified, and then we add 11,000 will be 24,000.
You're talking about the change from 25,000 in terms of the revised number to the non-fully identified number, or the fully identified number versus the non-fully identified number. The change in that is 11,000.
Is correct. And the number that they claim is 24,000. The number that we have that's identified, which is women and children, is 13,000. So we've got 11,000 gap now between the women and children from the non-identified to the identified.
I thought we were missing 1,000 there because the first one was it 8 and 4,000.
It's 8 and 5,000, which is 13,000 altogether.
Bro is speaking words. That's it. It's
no. What he's saying is he's saying that the distinction between the non-revised numbers. Let me say it this way. The distinction between the fully identified numbers and the non-fully identified numbers would mean that all of the ones that have not been fully identified are innocents. And I don't see there to be an even issue with that.
I have a logical question for him. It's extremely logical. How hard is it to discern? Listen.
Wait. Let Mish finish, bro.
Listen, the identification is for exactly who the individual is. To not make a mistake of this person was reported by this family member, or that witness of being near a strike, missing, not turning up anywhere, and possibly not have served.
I got someone that knows the numbers really good. Can you bring them up? This book, her name is Tango.
Got a call. Just listen. It's not hard to
identify. Wait, can you stop literally over talking people respectfully? 1 second.
Yeah, go on.
Mish, continue, please.
Hard to identify if it's a woman or a child or a grown man.
Okay, can you bring Tango up? She knows the numbers more correct and she can explain it to you better. Can you bring her up, please?
Who?
Tango.
What's her name?
Tango. Tengo.
Get a phone call. Sorry about it.
Oh, you can continue, Mish. He's getting phone calls. That's why.
So there's a couple of things. The date on the casualties, even on the UN website itself, they have a blue box warning to Kobe's claim about any verified. even the UN hasn't verified the data. There's been no third party allowed on the ground for any of that data, just so you're aware. And the
Also
casualties
corroborated.
in the no, they have not been corroborated. Casualties in the context of the ongoing hostilities in the Strip in Israel, which started on the 7th of October, will only be added to this page, by the way, where they claim only one person has been unalived. Once these incidents have been independently verified. Until then, reported figures on those are included in our flash updates and snapshots. So we
Wait,
can go do that.
have the people who have died on October 7th been independently verified?
No.
No, even the UN
No,
will not
so
do that.
do you accept a particular number as it relates to that?
No, but I'm going to show this. I'm
No,
only
you
showing
don't. So you
Covey
don't
that
know
it
how many
hasn't been-
people died on October 7th?
No, I am showing Covey that she's incorrect.
No, but you said
Can you
based
answer
upon your
the
own
question?
reasoning,
Verified.
based upon your own reasoning, it seems like you don't have any good reason to believe
No, I
that
believe
many
I don't
people
believe
died
Hamas.
on October 7th.
And since Hamas is the
So
only
then
data
wait.
filter,
So my question is
yeah.
why do you believe one but not the other? It seems like you're okay with accepting
because
Israel's
Hamas is a
intelligence.
terrorist organization.
Well, can you
and
say
Israel
similar
is
things
a sovereign
from
government that has
another perspective?
answered to multiple nations. Hamas only answers to the IRGC.
Wait, but you understand that the reason as to why no independent bodies were allowed in is because of Israel, right?
No, that's incorrect, actually.
Wait,
It's
hold
Hamas
on.
not
Did you say
allowing
that's
third party,
incorrect?
including the Red Cross and Red Crescent
Wait,
not
hold
being
on. Did
allowed
you just say that was
in for the
incorrect?
hostages. That's
One
incorrect.
second. Let me bring that up, actually.
But before we move on,
Wait,
I know
no.
you want to
Tango,
pivot,
can I fully address this first?
but hold on. In terms of the numbers,
I'll just mute you if you don't let me fully address this. I've been
but you asked me
respectful.
to come up because you're not. but
I
you're
didn't
not
ask you to
looking
come
at
up.
this
Your
data.
friend said bring
Can
this
you just
person
ask
up,
the
and I
point?
brought you up. So
Do you
Yeah,
want me to
did I
get
ask for that?
another point first, and then I can address another point from the past? Because I just want to address what you guys were addressing.
I
and then
understand
can
that
ask
you
me
want to
any
do that, but
questions you want.
why can't I fully address my point there? I brought up a point.
Because
I
then we
want to
have to
fully
go
address
back
this.
to go forward.
We do
All right.
not. I'd love to fully. You can address this after. Can I bring up a point
Sure.
of contention or no?
Sure, whatever.
Okay, so based upon your standard, why do you accept the numbers for how many people died on October 7th?
The body we have multiple reasons. We have the UN special envoy that went in to look at sexual violence in conflict zones. They actually have
No.
the same numbers
That's not
presented.
true. The
Yeah, they
United
do.
Nations was not allowed in.
Secondarily,
Precisely, thank
the
you.
UN
Can you give me a
special
source
envoy
that indicates that,
was allowed
Tango?
in. Yeah, so okay, so that's why I don't want to. Do you want me to now delete this? Go back at
No,
the
you don't
other
have to
UN mission
delete it. You
report?
can just open up a new tab, go find it, and then come back.
It takes
Is
2
that
seconds.
re-
It's in the mission report.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds for you to open up a new
Okay,
tab.
so
Correct.
in the mission report, okay, they have multiple things that are listed. And when you read it, it even states the numbers. Now, I understand you guys don't want to
Show
believe
me
this,
where
though.
specifically that it says that there was independent verification of the people who died on October 7th.
It's not independent verification of
Oh,
the
so you
people
said
that
there
have been
was
unalived.
independent verification,
For
and that was
all
your standard for identifying it
fatalities.
to be true.
Not for all fatalities, because some bodies were disintegrated from being burned alive and commingled with other bodies. So that now is being moved over to DNA evidence, which takes time.
Okay, so couldn't you say the same thing
And again,
for like the
Israel
numbers as it
reduced
relates to
their
how many
numbers once
Palestinians
they
have died? It
realized-
takes time to come to
once
these
they
numbers,
realized-
and it takes time for them to be able to go in the first place. The only difference we could really see is whether or not the particular body or entity restricted people from being able to get access to this information.
Hamas
Could
is
you provide me
restricting
any
anyone to
evidence that
come
they
in.
have in that scenario as it relates to
Well, you don't care
as
what
it
Hamas
relates
says or
to
does.
the amount of Palestinians who have died versus Israel obstructing people from coming and
They're not
conducting
restricting people
independent
from
let me
entering
please finish
Gaza.
conducting independent verification of how many people died on October 7th.
Okay, so the attack, this is the UN's report. The attacks resulted in approximately 1,200 fatalities and thousands of injuries, predominantly among civilians.
Did you say they're
So
not
we-
obstructing any investigation?
Do you realize that Hamas is not just the
No,
militant
I'm
arm,
asking you
but
a
they
question.
are
Did you
also
say
the
that
government
Israel
arm,
is
right?
not obstructing? No, hold on. I'm just asking a simple
Hamas
question.
obstructs.
No, I'm
any
saying,
third
did you
party
say
from entering.
Israel is? Did you say Israel is not? Just simple question.
Is the unalivings in Gaza
I'm saying
are
in Israel,
Hamas's
specifically in Israel.
responsibility as a
No,
government.
I'm talking about.
Hamas is
I'm talking
restricting-
about specifically in Israel. Did you just say that Israel did not obstruct any investigation?
Hamas obstructs. Just
No, I'm
like
asking
Israel
you a
allows
simple
humanitarian
question.
aid
Is
workers
Israel?
those are
Is
third
Israel?
parties that could investigate.
Hold on.
So
Is Israel
allowed third
cooperating?
parties in.
Okay, 1 second,
Israel
Tango.
has allowed third parties in. Yes.
Really?
Israel allowed like the World Food Program in, the World Central
Okay,
Kitchen
can you make
in.
me
Yes,
bigger,
there are third
please,
parties that they
Parker?
enter.
So you have said that Israel has not obstructed investigation and has
No,
allowed
I said
people.
Israel allows third parties in. Hamas is the one
Wait, hold
that
on,
does
no, no.
not
So
allow
you,
them to
so are
investigate
you
the unalivings.
saying? I'm asking you a simple question: has Israel obstructed investigation or not?
Israel allows third parties to enter.
So Israel
Hamas
has not
stops
obstructed.
investigations.
It's a yes. It's a yes or no, Tango. It's a yes or no answer. Has Israel
No,
obstructed
this is not the
investigation
court
or
of
not?
law. Just show your evidence if you want me to see something. Just show it.
No, are you saying?
I'm not
Wait,
gonna
Tango,
answer the
respectfully, you're
question.
not answering her very direct question. So if you'd like to answer
I
the question,
know
that'd be
that
nice.
Israel allows, my answer to that is I know Israel allows third parties to go in and conduct nonprofit or NGO activity. So I
Okay.
know
On
Israel
October
allows third
7th?
parties.
So give me a source that says that.
October 7th, you realize that
Okay,
the Hamas
here it is.
militants were
It's
in there
okay. I
October
have the
7th,
source for
8th,
you.
9th, and 10th, right?
No, it's okay, Tango.
What are you talking about?
1 second, Tango.
Just
1
giving you a
second,
general
Tango.
idea.
I have the source for you because you have said Israel has not obstructed any
That's not what I
investigation, right?
said. That's
Also
I
not what I
asked you the
said.
question. You said 1 second. When you were
No, because
saying
you're trying to
Israel,
straw man me,
1
and I'm not going
second,
to let that happen.
Tango. You were, that's literally
Yeah, it is.
define
My
straw
answer
man,
was
sweetheart.
direct
No,
enough.
no, no, no. I asked
Told her
you
to show her evidence.
1
That's
second.
it.
I asked you a simple question. Has Israel obstructed investigation? You said Israel has allowed people
Third
in, which
parties
means
to enter. Correct.
okay, cool. Let's see what this says. Detailed findings on attacks carried out on and after the 7th of October 2023 in Israel.
Are you
This
using the
was
Human Rights Council?
presented to the I don't know why you're talking while I'm talking.
No, I'm asking your source. I said, are you using the Human Rights Council? You moved
Yes.
your.
It literally
No,
says
no.
it.
Now I can see it.
Okay.
Until she moved it left, I couldn't
Human
see it,
Rights
guys.
Council, right?
Chill
1
out.
second. Can you go on mute while I read this out, please? Cool. Human Rights Council, right? So let's go to the introduction of this. What does it say here? The commission sent. Can somebody get rid of the comments, please? Thank you. The commission sent 4 requests for information
doing that right
to
now. Give me 1
Israel
sec.
and 1 request to the state of Palestine. Israel did not respond. The state of Palestine provided the commission with information. The commission submitted 6 requests for access to Israel on the occupied Palestinian territory. Israel persists in not responding to the commission's request for access to its territory and in preventing access to the occupied Palestinian territory. The commission considers that Israel is obstructing investigations into events on and since the 7th of October. So they don't even want the 7th of October investigated, both in Israel and in the Palestine. Well, I'm not done.
I didn't talk.
Stay on mute.
That wasn't
I'm not
me.
done. I'm not done.
I
You can
didn't say
respond.
anything. I
Okay.
didn't say anything.
Okay, cool. Occupied Palestinian territory. The state of Palestine has indicated that it would welcome a visit by the commission. And then when you scroll down to the methodology, what does it say here? It says here, the commission faced several challenges in its investigation into acts committed in Israel on the 7th of October. Israeli officials have publicly announced on several occasions Israel's refusal to cooperate with the commission's investigation into acts committed by the H Group, Izzeddin Qassam brigades, and other Palestinian armed groups against Israelis. Israeli officials not only refused to cooperate with the commission's investigation, but also reportedly barred medical professionals and others from being in contact with the commission after it approached medical professionals in Israel.
What date
in
was that
December
report written?
2023. The commission was not able to visit the sites of the violations.
All right, let's
As
go
the
forward in time
Israeli,
then.
I'm not done. 1 second. I'm not done.
Well, I have a newer report.
No, this is actually newer because you're showing me a report from 1 second. You're showing me a report from February. I'm showing you a report from June. I'm showing you a report from June of 2024.
But this report shows you that the UN was allowed in.
1 second.
So
No. 1 second. This is a report from June 2024. That is after
Well,
February
maybe Human Rights
2024.
Council isn't
So
telling
again,
the full story.
No,
Is
1
that
second.
possible?
1 second. No. The human rights not telling the full story is actually crazy.
Because They did go. The
That
UN went.
no. That mission that you're talking about was not allowed to conduct investigation. If you go to
Yes, they were.
if you go to paragraph 70, if you
They
go
were-
to
no,
par-
I don't have to. No, you're cherry picking.
if you
You're
go
not
to
reading the
paragraph
report
7,
correctly.
if you
Yeah, I
go
have
to
something
paragraph
about her report too.
77.
They were allowed in. You're
No.
cherry picking. They were allowed in.
1 second.
And I have it
What's
right
the
here.
difference? What's
The
the difference
mission
between
took
1
place.
second? 1 second. 1 second.
The
What's the difference
mission
between?
team.
Is she just ignoring me? Like, yeah.
No, I would.
Let's
You know
go
what?
to
I would read
77.
this whole
Go to
document if
paragraph
Parker needed it to
77.
be read.
Go
No,
to
because
paragraph
77
Tango,
has
Tango,
to
I will
do
let
with
you
other
address
areas.
this, and I will give you time dedicated to do so. But please let Athena finish her point here, so that you can be able to.
But that's a
have a
Human
productive
Rights
dialogue.
Council. They are an
Yeah,
NGO.
now be quiet, please. We're off
not
to mute you.
related.
Human Rights
to
Council
war
and
findings.
NGOs.
I just told you what the boundaries are of this live. You can choose to go against them, and I'll mute you until you
But
abide
you had
by it.
asked me to show this. Now you muted me.
I
and
will. I
allowed
will.
her to go.
Now please let her finish her point, and then you can show it, and I'll put you on the big screen.
Okay, thank you. Right? So it says here, Israeli officials not only refused, by the way, what she's showing right now is a missions team that was gone there, but they asked for investigation to be conducted. They just visited, but they weren't allowed to conduct investigations.
That's not true.
Israeli officials not only refused to cooperate with the commission's investigation, but also reportedly barred medical professionals and others from being in contact with the commission after it approached medical professionals in Israel and in December 2023. The commission was not able to visit the sites of the violations in the Israeli violations, as the Israeli government has prevented it accessing Israel. The Human Rights Council is a part of the United Nations, by the way. It's not a separate entity. Just wanted to say that. Anyways, I'm done.
And then Tango will go over to you. Tango, by the way, your thing wasn't
I was
working.
waiting. You told me to wait. So. Oh, I thought I was going next to show that they did enter.
I just told you. I just told you I will.
Oh. Okay. Sure. I'm going to show you that they did enter and they did investigate and they had meetings, but that's fine.
What's the name of this report? Can you show us the name, please?
Yeah, it's item 3. Okay, I will read the entire thing.
I read that report last week.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
but
it's only from
if
the
you
UN
read it,
Office
you have to
of
read it.
Sexual
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to read it like you're reading a medical journal article with methodologies and everything intact. So if you read all of it, then it all makes sense. No, you said nobody entered.
No, it's okay. Let her go.
5 months
Let's
later.
let her fully go through this real quick.
So you guys don't want anyone to talk.
No, hold on 1 second. Let her
Yeah,
just
let's
respond.
let her fully go through with it.
The mission took place from January 29 to February 14, 2024. The mission team was led by the SRSGSVC, that's Pramila Patton, who was supported by a technical team composed of 9 experts drawn from the UN, including staff from the office of the SRSGSVC, and specialists trained in safe and ethical interviewing of survivors, victims, and witnesses of sexual violence crimes, a forensic pathologist, a digital and open source information analyst. The mission team received the full cooperation of the government of Israel. In Israel, the mission team conducted a total of 33 meetings with Israeli national institutions, including relevant line ministries such as Foreign Affairs, Welfare and Social Affairs, Health and Justice, including the State Attorney General's Office, as well as the Israeli Defense Forces, the Israeli Security Agency Shin Bet, and the Israeli National Police in charge of the investigation into the October 7th attacks. They also met with Herzog and the First Lady. The mission team conducted several visits to the Shura military base, the morgue to which the bodies of victims were transferred, as well as one of the visits to the National Israeli Center of Forensic Medicine. The mission team reviewed over 5,000 photos and around 50 hours of footage of the entire attacks, both provided by various state agencies, independent private sources, and through independent online review of various open sources to identify potential indications of CRSV. Further, the mission team conducted interviews according to the UN standards and methodology with a total of 34 interviewees, including with survivors and witnesses of the October 7th attacks, released hostages, first responders, health and service providers, and others. I could keep going.
Can you
but
go
they
to
also
number
visited-
21? Read 21.
No, I'm not cherry picking.
No, no,
if you
read
want to do all of
21.
them, we can.
No, read 21. Read 21.
I started at the beginning.
No, read 20. No, hold on one second, Mr. Jones.
I
read,
started
read
at the
point
beginning.
21. Read point 21.
Also, just so
Read
you're
point
aware for the
21.
disclaimer, this report has been edited for the sake of the distribution to the public.
Read point 21 of
Sensitive-
that same report. Read point
sensitive
21.
information. I'm at the beginning.
I
We
know,
can get
read
to
point
20,
21
but
though.
Yo,
not
Tango,
cherry-picking.
Tango,
Go to
then
21.
go to
information.
21.
But shared with the UN on a confidential basis has been withheld to respect the privacy,
Okay,
safety,
go
and
to
security
21
of
though.
those who engage with the mission team, in line
go
with the
to-
survivor-victim-centered approach.
Can you
Findings
go
are
to
conveyed
21,
in
please,
generic
Tango?
terms. I'm not lying.
Go to
I'm reading
21.
directly from the report.
Go 20. Okay, read from the direct report. Go to 21. Read
Is that in a
21
different
as a
section?
whole for me.
Is it a different section?
Read 21. It's under context of the mission, introduction. Read
I know
21
it's,
for me.
I know
No,
it's
no, read
pre-investigatory.
all of 21 for me. 21. It's on page 6 and there we go. Read the whole thing.
So they went after the 7th
No,
of
read the
October
whole
attacks in
thing.
Israel.
Word
Don't
by word.
paraphrase. Read it. Don't
Following the
paraphrase.
7th of October attacks in Israel and the numerous allegations of conflict-related sexual violence that emerged, the Office of the SRSG on SVNCE, in line with its mandate, engaged with the permanent mission of Israel to the UN and activated the UN Action Against Sexual Violence in Conflict UN Action Network in an attempt to gather relevant information. However, due to the absence of the monitoring, analysis, and reporting arrangements by MERA, infrastructure in Israel, and the OPT, and of relevant UN action entities operating in Israel, no verified information on CRVC was received related to the October 7th attacks. Further, but we have to keep going.
No,
'cause
continue
you-
further. Read that one. Further, the lack of what? What does it say?
Yeah, this is the
No,
introduction.
read it. Continue reading it. Further,
If I
the
read
lack
this,
of
I'm
what?
reading the whole report. No, if I
No,
read this, I'm reading the whole
further
report.
further read it. Read that. Read it, please. She is dishonored.
No.
Read.
No, this is the
hold on.
introduction and the
Read
context
it.
of the
No,
mission.
Tango, read further.
Parker.
Why
Tango,
did
if you
stop at
this is
further?
Tango,
completely
respectfully,
disingenuous.
Tango, if you don't read it, we'll read it ourselves.
You have to read the whole thing, though. You
Yes,
can't just
read the whole
one
thing.
paragraph.
Yeah,
It's okay.
but can
You
you
read
read
the whole
that
thing.
particular aspect, please?
Yes, further the lack
No
what?
verified
What does it
You
say?
information
read particular
on
aspects of the top.
CRSV was received.
No. What does it say?
No
Further
information
the
was
lack of
received
what?
related. I didn't even get there. To the
Okay,
October
continue.
7th. Further, the lack of access and cooperation by the Israeli authorities with the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the OPT, including East Jerusalem and Israel, and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, despite their timely request to investigate the events of the 7th of October and their aftermath, resulted in the unavailability of the UN sourced or verified information on sexual violence linked to the attacks committed by Hamas and other armed
Your
groups.
own
But you have
report
to keep
says-
going.
Our
Your
own
own
report just be
report
smacking
says-
y'all in the face
Wait a
every
second.
time.
Your
No, it isn't.
own report
You cannot
says. One
cherry pick
second.
one
Let's clarify
paragraph.
what
Cherry
just
pick is
happened.
crazy when
One
that's what
second.
you did.
1 second.
You
No,
were
it isn't.
literally
I read
reading
from
at the top of the
beginning, Mr.
document.
Jones.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
read
No,
from the
1
top.
second. Can I say something, please? Let's clarify to the 3.3K people what this said. It said,
No.
and I quote, I'm going to
No, why?
reread it again. Further, the lack of access and cooperation by the
To where,
Israeli
though?
authority. 1 second. Can you stop
To the
interrupting?
OPT area.
So it says again, further, the lack of
That is so
access and
disingenuous. That's such
cooperation
bad
by.
faith.
Okay, Miss Thing, I'm gonna mute you if you keep
This-
interrupting.
this
right?
l-
So you're
You're
intellectually
bad faith,
you're
though.
into
Are you guys
you're,
college
you're
students?
you are intellectually dishonest. I'm not paraphrasing.
Any medical
Further,
provider.
the lack of access and cooperation by the Israeli authorities with the Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem and Israel, and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, despite their timely request to investigate the events of October the 7th and their aftermath, resulted in the unavailability of a United Nations sourced or verified information on sexual violence linked to the attacks committed by the age group and other groups. Israeli authorities obstructed an investigation yet again. The source you just gave me just proved that. And this was a source from February. And the source that I just gave you from June reiterated that again. Both of these reports from the United Nations, both of them mention an obstruction of investigation from the Israeli side and not from the Palestinian side. You lied.
Imagine your own source proving you wrong, bro. That's actually crazy, bro.
Yeah. Also,
It didn't. It
oh,
didn't. You're wrong because the
it absolutely did.
UNOHCR is the one that does the investigation into the Palestinian territories,
You're
East
cool.
Jerusalem and Israel. And so this
Nope.
envoy was not going to then investigate claims that had been made by anyone in the territories regarding something that happened by an Israeli personnel. So what they did is they said that will go to that department and they will further investigate. And this department was allowed in. So what you're saying is disingenuous. You have to read the entire
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read. I'm gonna
Wait,
read the
says
part
the
that I want
says
to
the
read.
one who didn't read the part that debunked your point.
Exactly
You
that.
guys are you're cherry picking one thing. You have to.
You're
keep going.
cherry
That was
picking.
the
Wait, you
context
read.
of
Wait,
the
I'm sorry.
mission.
Let me say this real quick, Tango. You
Just read
read
all-
the very top of the document. You were literally
It
reading a
says right
portion.
here that they
Stop,
answered,
stop,
they
stop
allowed them
talking for a
in.
second. I'll have to mute you again. Like, I
No,
want to be able to
Parker,
address
you're
this.
disingenuous. You're
I have
totally
let you. I have let you
disingenuous. That's
speak.
such bad faith.
I will let you speak. Now,
No,
please
you
let me.
didn't.
I
You
did.
have people cherry picking one.
Can I?
People
Can I?
don't
Can I?
interrupt
Wait. Can I
people all
please
the time.
explain my
and
thoughts
then
real
not
quick,
continuing
Tango?
on.
Tango, can I please explain my thoughts?
The reason that they try to
You let me
railroad the
explain my thoughts.
conversation
Tango,
is because
Tango,
they
Parker.
don't want
Tango,
the
please.
information
I
to
did.
You
I
be
did
gave
not
you
let me
time.
explain
I
my
literally
thoughts.
told everyone to give you time. I literally
You're
did
not
that.
letting me answer at all.
You didn't.
I
You
did.
didn't. You didn't let
You
Tango go
read,
more than 20
and I did not
seconds.
get to answer.
You keep claiming the cherry picking point. You have no good reason to believe that because you read off the very top of the document, just the little portion on the top, right? In the same way that you brought up a portion in the document to read. Well, we brought
I
up a
started
portion.
at the
Let me please
beginning.
finish my point. We brought up a portion of the document for you to read. You can't claim that we were cherry picking when we did the exact same thing as you. Otherwise,
So
it
we
would
know that in
dispute what
here,
you said.
so we know that they talked to the survivors. We know that they talked to
They didn't.
people that were
That's
hostages.
not true.
And
I'm
we
gonna
know
read more.
that there
I'm gonna
was
read more.
Wait,
that
actually,
there was
let her
clear
finish.
and
I'm so sorry. Let her
Let's let her
finish.
finish.
We know that in the department, the section, because if we read by sections, we should read the whole section. And the only section that's short enough to do so is where they talk about the hostages, because you guys are disingenuous. I could read the whole report. The UNOHCR is the one that's supposed to do the report for the claims from the Palestinians. That was the issue, that there was not enough, whatever, to go in. I don't know what happened there. I'm not there for that. The one that we can talk about, the one that we do have findings wise is the hostages, where they did say, based on their terminology of clear and convincing evidence, that the hostages were, with clear and convincing evidence, harmed by sexual violence, RAPE,
This is a lie.
sexualized torture, etc. No, I'm going to read it. No, I'm going to read it so that you have it, because I think if you want to call that a
I've been
lie,
quiet this
then
whole
know
time, and I would like to read what I had to read.
I'm going to read
Yeah,
it
but
because then I
all
know
of a
that you're
sudden when
completely being
Tango tries to interrupt
disingenuous.
you, you start screaming at her. All of a sudden she
Wait,
starts
hold on,
speaking
one second, one
something.
second. Actually, wait, hold on one second. For
Let
this
Tango
to be
finish.
like an actual,
Let Tango
for
No,
this
I'm
to be
She's
an
been
actual
talking the vast
conversation.
majority of the time. She
Wait,
even
hold
talks
on.
while
Let me
other
set the
people are talking.
parameters. Wait, hold on. Let me
just
set the
this part, and then I'm
one
going to
second.
go.
One second.
'cause
I'm
it's
just gonna tell y'all.
disingenuous.
No, I'm just
No,
gonna
the
tell
mission
y'all one at
team-
a time. Do not. I'm
The
trying to
mission
help
team
you, Tango. I'm
reviewed
trying to help you.
incidents
Tango,
of
she's trying to
alleged
establish
sexual
I'm
rules.
trying to
Can you
violence.
help
just be
you,
respectful,
Tango.
please?
One
No, you
second. I'm
guys
trying
are
to help
doing
you.
more.
I'm
Oh
trying
my
to. I'm
God.
trying to set rules, please. One at a time. I understand that Tango is spreading a lot of misinformation, but after she's done, Mr. Jones, you can respond after she's fully done. And Tango, please stay after you're done because I want to address you too.
Sexual violence against hostages taken to Gaza. The mission team reviewed incidents of alleged sexual violence related to hostages in Gaza based on the first-hand accounts of released hostages. The mission team received clear and convincing information. By the way, they state that in their methodology that that's evidence of fact. That sexual violence include RAPE. Can you make me bigger so everybody can see this? Including RAPE, sexual torture, and cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment occurred against some women and children during their time in captivity, and has reasonable grounds to believe that this violence may be ongoing. Based on the first-hand accounts of released hostages, there are reasonable grounds to believe the female hostages were also subjected to other forms of sexual violence. I'm not lying. If Mr. Jones wants to say this is a lie, then I will leave. Here it says it had clear and convincing information, and if you read in their methodology, clear and convincing information rises above the level of reasonable suspicion or reasonable belief and includes fact. And I
Can
can
you
show
read
you
number
that if
8?
you would like to see that. Otherwise, if you guys don't want to acknowledge that,
Mhm.
I will leave because then I know you're being disingenuous.
Can you read clause 8 on page 4? On that same report, go to page 4 and read clause 8, please.
Where is it?
On page 4, like in number 8. No, that's
That's not.
just go to number 8.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
not-
I
1,
pressed
2, 3, 4.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
go to
under, hold on, this is, I want to see what section it's under. The executive summary findings?
number 8. Yeah.
Oh, the challenges, I'm not going to read the challenges they received. I
No, no,
know that they interview the people.
Wait,
No,
can
I
you
already
can you
I
no
told-
no can you
if
read that one for
cannot
me, please?
admit, no, if
Can you read
cannot
that one for
admit-
me? Can you read that
No,
one for me?
I'm going to read
Can
what
you
clear
all?
and
Can you
convincing
just read it
information
yourself,
means.
Athena? And then I'm gonna.
Oh,
and then
Mr.
I'll.
Jones,
No,
you
I
can
wasn't
read
done.
it.
I wasn't
Okay,
done
you could-
because you said I had time, right?
Okay, fine, Tango. But I would love to read Article 6 if we're done.
So in the methodology, after it explains the context of the mission and the composition of the team, the standard of proof for verification of that sexual violence, I do want to read what their definitions are. So I did read to you that the hostages had clear and convincing standards. For them, although the primary standard of proof in this report is one of reasonable grounds to believe, there have been occasions where more information has supported a finding of fact, and the overall finding has therefore been stated to be established at the level of clear and convincing information. So I hope you understand that information, the UN reporting has used clear and convincing standard. And although there's no single definition of the term, it is generally agreed that clear and convincing information of evidence rises above reasonable grounds to believe. So I just want to make sure you understand that. And that if you say that the hostages were not sexually perpetrated, then I know that you are coming here disingenuously. And it's
Can
not.
you read clause 8 for
I got
me,
it.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The mission
No,
team.
because you're cherry picking.
The mission team also faced specific challenges in gathering and verifying information on the occurrence of the conflict-related sexual violence. The main challenge was the limited number of access to survivors, victims of sexual violence, and to survivors and witnesses of the October 7th attack. While the mission team was able to meet with some released hostages as well as with some survivors and witnesses of the attack, it did not meet with any survivors, victims of sexual violence from the 7th October, despite concerted efforts encouraging them to come forward. So they met with no people
Actually,
that were
that's
victims
incorrect.
of
They
sexual
did meet with
violence.
the hostages,
It's in
and it
your
says that.
report.
No, I just read it, and I'll read it again. You're
I
being
will
disingenuous.
continue reading. The mission team
You're
was
being
made aware
disingenuous,
of a
Parker.
small number of
The one
survivors.
thing that I would hope.
Tango, please let Mr. Jones finish.
I
as we
stay
let you
quiet
finish,
while she's
and then I
talking.
promise you, Tango, I will give you grounds to be able to speak and to be
You're
able to
lying,
show
Jones.
everyone in the chat. Okay, well then.
How am I
please let him
lying
finish.
when I'm reading from the same Okay, here we go. I'll just turn it around.
Because you're cherry picking in the
This is the
beginning
dumbest
portion.
thing
And not-
Tango, please let him fully finish and fully go through the information, and then you will be able to respond. I will give you the time.
not fully going through it. Really, if you want to do it fully, you have to read all.
Fully
24
go through his
pages.
point here, and then we can we will go. Trust me, we will have time. We have plenty of time to be able to go over this.
This is number 8. The mission
Is there a way you
team
can zoom it
also
in a little
faced-
bit?
Huh?
Is there a way you can zoom in a little
Yeah,
bit,
hold
or
on
does
a
that not
second.
allow you to?
No, I can't. No, it doesn't allow me on this, but here, hold on.
That's good enough.
Is that good? Okay. The mission team also faced specific challenges in gathering and verifying information on the occurrence of conflict-related sexual violence. The main challenge was the limited number of and access to survivors, victims of the sexual violence, and to survivors and witnesses of the 7 October attacks. While the mission team was able to meet with some released hostages, as well with some survivors and witnesses of the attacks, it did not meet with any survivor victim of sexual violence from 7 October, despite concerted efforts encouraging them to come forward. The mission team was made aware of a small number of survivors who are undergoing specialized treatment and still experiencing overwhelming level of trauma. Further, the internal displacement of several communities from the Gaza periphery to other locations, the relocations of survivor of the Nova Music Festival attacks, both internally into the third countries, as well as deployment of 7 October first responders from the military forces to combat hindered access to firsthand information. Hindered access firsthand information. Now I'm going to go furthermore, right? The UN Rights Office reports details 6 incidents that took place October 7 and December 2. in which it was able to access the kinds of weapons, the means, and the methods used in these attacks. We felt it was important to get the report out now, especially because in the case of some of these attacks, some 8 months have passed, and we are yet to see credible and transparent investigations. That's the spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office. She added, in the absence of transparent investigations, there would be a need for international action in this regard. They also condemned Israel's military methods in Gaza, saying the use of heavy weapons in densely populated area constitutes an intentional and direct attack on the civilian population. Commissioner Chris Sidati later told reporters that its findings, which were being shared with the International Criminal Court, showed that Israel was one of the most criminal armies in the world. He said the inquiry, which aims to investigate the treatment of hostages, as well as that of 1,000 of Palestinian detainees in Israeli jails, has so far been hindered by Israel. Far from having cooperation, what we have encountered is obstruction.
All right, you can go, Tenga.
Can I go after her, by the way?
I think
Absolutely.
the bottom line is, if you can't genuinely say, yeah, rescued hostages were held in captive civilian homes, like Noah, who was held by the journalist, or like the 3 men who were held by another family and his father that were a doctor. If you can't genuinely say Hamas is a terrorist organization that wants their own civilians unalived because it helps their cause, if you can't genuinely say that the hostages have come forward because they have to be brave enough to face people like Mr. Jones, who deny sexual violence occurred and who deny the patterns of sexual violence, I don't think there's much more to say to the group of people here who don't know how to read, one, a methodology written article, which has a disclaimer. Are you doing noise on
Mr.
purpose,
Jones, by the way, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
So should I repeat all of that or what? Because that was...
Yeah,
the
you
whole
can. I apologize.
Okay, so we know rescued hostages were held captive in civilian homes. We're aware that they were held by people that write for Al Jazeera, doctors, UNRA social workers, and pediatric surgeons. We're aware of that. We've been told that. Additionally, in the so if we're not going to be genuine and have that conversation in good faith and deny the sexual violence, then I cannot stay here because this is a reality on the ground. Hamas is the only data filter. The UN itself has a blue box warning on their site that states as such. And we know based on the hostages who have to come forward because people like Mr. Jones and Covey don't believe them, that they have to tell that they went through sexual torture and sexualized violence during the October 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, because that's what the report says by Pramila Patton, that Hamas and their collaborators who entered Israel conducted themselves throughout those days and as such. If you guys do not want to say that that happened and you want to be Hamas sympathizers, that is where I bow out.
Okay, I just have a really quick question. I think I want you to go. I just have a really quick question. Tango, do you live in the United States?
It doesn't matter where I live.
No, it absolutely matters. Do you live in the United States?
Maybe I have multiple places where I live.
That's fine. Do you live in the United States? Are you a citizen? Can you vote?
It does not matter.
It does.
It
Are you a
not
citizen in
matter.
the United States? And can you vote?
It doesn't matter. What's your point?
Because I'm about to prove that you're lying. Do you live in the United States?
How are you? You're going to prove that I'm lying? How?
Yeah, I'm about to. You're about to see.
This
Do you
didn't
live in the
happen?
United States? Yes or no?
This didn't happen.
Do you live in the United States?
You're a Hamas sympathizer.
That's fine. Call me whatever you want. Do you live in the United States?
Which one?
No,
I don't have to answer
Mr.
that.
Mr. Jones will answer you. But I mean, I don't know why you can't answer this question.
I don't have
and
to
then I do
tell
want to give
anyone
You know
what
why,
a
another
citizen
space to
of.
speak.
You know why, Parker?
So then, if that's your thing and you have,
Why do
someone
you live?
who
Do you
wanted
live
to
in the
get
United
you,
States?
it
Yes
doesn't
or
matter.
no?
It doesn't matter where I live.
It does.
Just tell me what you want to say. Just
Do
make
you
a
live in the
point.
United
You don't have to
States?
get any information from me. You have 4,000 people watching. I don't have to say where I live.
Do
Well,
you
we're
think
just
that
saying a
somebody's going to
country,
find you
like,
because you say you live in the
you say
United
United
States?
I don't have to
States?
say
That's
anything.
wild.
Y'all,
You saying
that's what I'm
United
saying.
States
That's
is
how
not
you know.
gonna
That's
get
how you know
people to
people
fund
aren't
you.
being honest when they're trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying so hard to to not answer questions. That's how you know people are
I don't
lying.
have to tell you. That's a
So-
personal information.
Hey, look at her
Any
screen
personal
right now.
information.
No, hold
Oh,
on one
sorry.
second. Not the David Duke.
Yeah,
That's
David
crazy.
Duke. Wow.
Yeah, wait, hold
I have
on.
lots of
Can you
things
make me?
open, I'm
No,
sorry.
hold on.
I
It's
bet
my
you
turn.
do.
It's my turn.
No,
You
wait.
spent a lot
Yeah,
of
Is that
let-
all
let-
you wanted
let
to say,
Athena
John?
go.
So you are a Hamas sympathizer then? Because
Girl.
you didn't.
Sure, whatever.
you're
No,
so
No, let
dramatic.
Athena
Calm down.
respond, please, Tango. Let
Well,
Athena
Jones was
respond.
confronting me about my citizenship instead of answering my question.
Let Athena respond real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to a lot of things that you said, so bear with me, right? Number one second. hold on. Number one, the Times of Israel actually posted this article here. Al Jazeera denies rumor that hostage was held at employee's home. It goes to show that. Can you mute yourself, because I was on mute?
Yeah,
Tango,
Tingo,
where's the
she was
decorum?
being extraordinarily respectful with you, and now you're just cutting her off.
You're laughing. Either leave if you don't like have decorum, like genuinely, like nobody needs you here. Like we don't like respectfully. And so these were based on rumors. They're not verified claims. It says here in the Times of Israel article, this man is not from Al Jazeera and he did not work from Al Jazeera at all. And he is not listed as working for Al Jazeera, neither now nor in the past. That was the Al Jazeera bureau chief in Jerusalem who said that. Another thing is, let's focus on what Pramila Patton says. 1 second. Who is the woman whose report you were reading. I wanted to hear her from her mouth.
But she ran away.
Oh, it's okay. There are 3.8K people here, so.
Right.
I don't know, but it is a fact that we found many instances of unreliable, inaccurate forensic interpretation by untrained people.
All right, we'll go to Lisa from Pirates online, and then Frank.
Yes. Hello, Ms. Patton. Thank you very much for the briefing. I think Farnaz actually asked this question, but I am not sure.
Oh, you paused out, Athena.
Attribute specific sexual violence specifically to the Hamas. And am I correct that you cannot conclude that the sexual violence was of a systematic character?
It's not that I cannot attribute, it's that I did not go into attribution, given the multiple actors. It was Hamas, it was the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, there were other armed groups, there were civilians, armed and unarmed. I did not go into attribution given the time and given the fact that I was not conducting an investigation.
Oh! Did you hear what she said? She said she was not conducting an investigation. Another thing I did want... You lied, by the way, Tango. That's why you ran away. Another thing I wanted to show you... 1 second. Sorry, my computer is like lagging. So if you go here, another Human Rights Council like a report that was released on May 27. So you go down to... Bear with me. My computer is like lagging a bit. You go down to... Sorry, the highlights are crazy. I understand. Okay, let's go to
Can't believe they ran away.
Let's go to clause 26. The commission has reviewed testimonies obtained by journalists and the Israeli police concerning rape, but has not been able to independently verify such allegations due to a lack of access to victims, witnesses, and crime sites, and the obstruction of its investigations by the Israeli authorities. The commission was unable to review the unedited version of such testimonies for the same reasons. The commission was also unable to verify reports of sexualized torture and genital mutilation. Additionally, the commission found some specific allegations to be false, inaccurate, or contradictory with other evidence or statements, and discounted these from its assessment. So not only did the reports you bring up debunked you, right? Not only did the woman who was in charge of that report debunk you, but here are multiple other reports that completely debunk you, which is why you ran away, because you were intellectually dishonest.
I just want to further add the reason that I was questioning Tango, right? About being dishonest is because Tango is a Trump supporter in here feigning outrage for victim blaming or saying that we don't care about women being essayed while simultaneously being a Trump supporter.
Okay, so what if it's short? Tango is the person that hates Trump. So first learn who Trump
Proud,
is.
you want to get your friend back up here? Or
What if she? I don't know if she's in the chat. If she's in the chat, she can come back. But the fact is, she's one thing for sure she isn't is a Trump supporter. What was the other point I was going to bring? Why you guys just interrupted like 10 times. Every single time she decided to bring a point, you guys interrupted her straight away.
I literally gave specific time for her to speak. What the hell are you talking about?
You gave it the most you managed to speak in one go was a minute and
that's a lie.
Within that minute, but you always, and when you speak for more than a minute,
she was interrupting everyone.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
She tried interrupting, and I started screaming at her.
No, we literally gave time. You were not listening. We gave time for people to speak. Did you see that?
You gave her a minute, and then you started interrupting her.
No, that's a lie. You're literally lying.
Yeah, like,
well, hey, you guys
like quite literally every time every time me and Athena talked, she interrupted us. The same way that you interrupt us every time we speak, literally. And the reason that you guys railroad conversations in the manner in which you do is because you don't want us to be able to debunk your point. You want your voice and your points to be the only ones that are heard. And then you sit here and play the victim as if somehow you guys are being harmed in all of this while tens of thousands of women or children are dying. And then you use your stupid ass fuzzy math to try to mystify the whole process like we don't know what the fuck is going on.
We're not. First of all, one thing for sure, we're not victims. We're the victors. We're winning.
Okay.
That's one thing for sure.
Crazy
That's
thing to
such
say,
a disgusting thing to say.
What are you winning?
The war.
It's not a war.
It is a war.
Does Palestine have a government? Are they a country?
Wait, can you define what a war is, Proud?
Proud,
what's a war?
International armed conflicts are synonymous with war, and armed groups like a brigade, like Al Qusayt's brigade, they can wage war. Hamas can wage war. Just because they don't have a defined military or government doesn't mean they can't.
They don't have a defined military government, nor are they a country. Nor are they a country.
Yeah, I agree, but that doesn't mean they can't wage war.
So
Hezbollah can wage war. Do you know the 1982, like the wars in Lebanon and all over, like proxies and little militias waged wars? They were titled wars.
So again, when you title it a war, right? I think it's important for you to acknowledge that, right? Wars like to this degree aren't going to indicate, right, occupied territory, right? If you have like some sort of unless you're saying it's it's a civil conflict.
Yeah, so what he's using, like, colloquially, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you were arguing about communism over capitalism, and I'm like, hey, me and Parker are at war, like, you know, a colloquial understanding. But an actual war, in terms of like how we understand it on a global stage, is an armed conflict between different nations and or states, which Palestine is neither of those things.
No, I would agree, but that's why I said I think that international armed conflicts are generally used synonymously with war. But I would agree with you there. I would more so classify it as an international armed conflict, but I don't see a problem when people say war. I don't think it like poses a big problem to the discussion.
I think Mish had unmuted his mic. Probably he wanted to say something, by the way.
And somebody said occupiers can't defend themselves under IHL. Someone who is an occupier can use violence or a military.
Which article?
Huh?
Which article?
I'm not specifically sure which one it is, but I could pull it up. But they can.
Please pull it up.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Mish, did you want to say something, by the way? I think you had unmuted.
No, I was gonna follow up with something that Jones was saying, but then Tango ended up dropping, so it doesn't even matter, to be honest.
For sure. All right. In the meantime, everyone, tap that screen. Let's get to 500,000 likes. Share the live as well, everyone, if you do want to help get it out to more people.
By the way, there is a good chance that I'll be getting a phone call. I don't know, probably.
Sure, but moderate case. Do you believe that there's an occupation?
I think that's up for dispute. I don't think it's clearly defined as an occupation.
What's an occupation?
My understanding of an occupation is where there's a military or government force that restricts the governing body that is in place from being able to perform actions, such as in the West Bank. You see that as under the PA. Israel is not restricting the PA from any of its authorities. In fact, the PA works hand in hand with Israel for lots of things, as far as security things, trying to actually cooperate. And groups like Hamas and Gaza hate that. They don't want any cooperation with Israel. But the PA has full functionality in the West Bank. Israel doesn't restrict them or pose a threat or impede on their authority. Therefore, I wouldn't consider it a full occupation. I would consider it occupation in terms of air control and things of that nature. But those aren't there because they hate Palestinians. Those are there for security purposes.
Wait, can Mish respond to that? Because I think Mish, aren't you from like the West Bank, if I'm not mistaken?
No, exactly. So right now there's a village. Google 106 solar panels in the West Bank. Just Google 106 solar panels in the West Bank. They've specifically appropriated 106 solar panels from a village that got them from Belgium or some other European country. I don't remember exactly who it was that gave it to them, but they gave them 106 or so solar panels. Israelis came in, they took them from them, they destroyed what they couldn't carry immediately, and then they dropped the rest off, the ones that were in working shape, at a nearby settlement. So now imagine that you have electricity. You finally found a way to be sustainable with electricity. You got a blessing. And then they come and they take your source of electricity away from you. You're a small idea of independence that they could have had. It was a farm, by the way, in the West Bank. And then they drop it off at a nearby settlement. I want to ask you, right? Would that not inspire some kind of active resistance or maybe even a violent attack upon that settlement? Is that not an act of provocation? If I ask you honestly.
Hold on. I'm like genuinely sorry. I was trying to pull up something for Kobe. Can you summarize what you said in 2 to 3 sentences? I heard you on and off, but I didn't get a full grasp of what you were saying because I was trying to find something for claims of like self-defense. So I'm sorry. Say it again, if you can.
You trying to ask Athena? Athena, are you there?
No, I thought this guy was asking me. I thought this guy was asking me a question.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, so you're asking me again. All right.
Yeah,
So
he asked you to repeat yourself because he didn't hear you, basically.
All right. So there's a settlement in the West Bank that received stolen solar panels that were delivered to a Palestinian village in the West Bank. They took the solar panels and they said that they have no construction permits. So now by the way, the permits, 97% get denied. By the way, all right? They have destroyed thousands of structures, wells, infrastructure for the Palestinians. They've approved less than 4 or 5% of the permits of what they've been applying for to build. So they take these solar panels from the Palestinian village, they drop them off at a nearby settlement, and they break whatever they couldn't carry. How is that not occupation? How is that not a suffocating occupation? How is that not pillaging?
I would find that to be indefensible. I'm not very familiar with that. I don't think Israel's perfect. I think a lot of people do bad things. I think there's some very violent far right-leaning settlers in certain settlements who do terrible things. But that in my
IDF, that was the IDF.
Yeah,
that would not have come down. That would not have happened without it coming down from up high in the command.
Yeah, sure. Let me finish. I would condemn that. Again, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I would condemn that. I do think the IDF has done bad things. I don't think Israel is. I'm not like
What's the intent behind it? What do you think is
Mish,
the intent?
Can you give us a source that I can go search for it?
Mish, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So if there is no occupation in the West Bank and Israel is a foreign entity, why do people in the West Bank need permits from Israel?
Exactly. We need permits to retain water wells that are historic, over 100 years old, some of them. The one that my family has, our water well is about 100 years old.
Mm-hmm. So can you answer that question, Moderate? If Israel is a foreign government and the West Bank isn't occupied and they're not Israeli citizens, why do people in the West Bank need permits from a foreign government? I'm pretty sure you don't go to Canada to get permits for like
area?
American soil.
How's
the West Bank in general.
How's it split up, Kobe?
Area A, B, and C.
Yeah, who controls Area C?
What do you mean?
Who controls Area C?
Israel.
Okay, who signed that? Who agreed to the Oslo Accords?
Wait, do you know how many years was the Oslo Accord supposed to?
It doesn't matter. Why haven't we uprooted it? The Oslo Accords.
How many years was it? No. How many years was it supposed to? How many years was it supposed to be implemented? When it was signed between Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin, under the what's called overseeing.
So you agree Palestinian leadership agreed to give.
No, I'm saying for how many years though?
I'm not exactly sure how many years.
For an interim period of 5 years. That's when.
Why didn't that go through?
For an interim period of 5 years, was the agreement. And after 5 years, that would still lead to a negotiation that would potentially, maybe, go down to what's called, plus Area C, the Oslo Accord does not say that Area C belongs to Israel. It doesn't say that it's a part of Israeli territory. It just says that it's under Israeli jurisdiction. Like, that Israel would control it, yes, but it doesn't belong to Israel. People in Area C are not going to somehow miraculously become Israeli citizens in case they were Palestinian or whatever it is, right? So the Oslo Accord doesn't allow Israel to annex Area C, moderate. And it does that for an interim period of 5 years. But what did Israel do? It a Jewish extremist unalived Yitzhak Rabin, even though Yitzhak Rabin didn't even want a Palestinian state. He said he would give Palestinians less than a state. And after they unalived Yitzhak Rabin, they still did not remove the settlements. They still did not come to the negotiation table. And therefore, after 5 years, it still stayed divided. So my question is again, why do Palestinians in the West Bank in area A and B need to apply for permits from a foreign government if they're not occupied?
I don't think they should have to apply for work permits in areas that aren't under Israeli control.
But that wasn't my question. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm saying why should they? Why are they applying for permits if they're not occupied?
You're saying that they have to apply for work permits to work in areas B and C?
I'm not talking only about work permits. Mish, can you explain what type of permits you would need to apply for?
Quite literally, construction permits. Anything that you want to build, you need a permit from the Israelis. It doesn't matter. It's you want to retain a water well, you want to put up solar panels. You want to put up solar panels on your property because they cut off the electricity whenever they want. You have to get a permit. You have to ask the Israelis for permission to construct absolutely anything, quite literally anything. So it's not. It makes you want to fight, don't it? And then you got to see those solar panels at a nearby settlement every day while you got no electricity. Is that not going to make you want to fight? I'm not understanding. That's a direct act of provocation. Those settlers should not have accepted it in their settlement. To me, the moment they accepted it, that settlement, and I know this is gonna sound, bro, that settlement becomes the target. They know it does. They know it does. It's an act of war, and not only a legitimate, but a necessary military target. You don't get to pillage and eat the cake of war and sit there and be like, yeah, nothing should happen to me. No, you have no right at that point. I'm sorry.
Can you give me the article about the 106 solar panels? Because I'm trying to look for it, I can't find it.
The guy who said it's okay to throw mentally disabled people off of mountains?
Correct.
The guy
Who says that it's okay to sterilize women after one elective abortion? The guy who said that they should totally wipe Gaza off the map?
Correct.
No, he didn't say wipe Gaza. He said they should get rid of every scrap of Palestinian DNA if they want to find peace. That's what older millennials said.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Why are you making rubbish at their friends? Why do you even say that? You have you random BS.
Oh, I don't have proof?
It's not random.
Yeah.
I'm literally watching the video on my main account. I literally posted
You mean that their friend? Yeah, what about that?
Yeah, she posted the video and then put on the front to my buddy, the older millennial.
Wasn't to my buddy, the old millennial.
No, yeah, I know. A lot of people from the pro-Israel side are mutuals with him, friends with him, because of the things he says about Israel. They are correct. He did say that. I was in the live.
I don't know if you've ever seen older millennials' X Space. I had the whole telling off against him, and all the pro-Israelis had telling off against him the whole time about what he says about what happens to the Gaza. Saying that they're friends is incorrect. She spoke to
what does
him
buddy
once.
mean?
I don't know what's the context of the thing. There's context behind it.
If I call someone my buddy, right, I think that means that we're friends.
Well, no. What's the video? What's she commenting before she made that? Want to know what's happening there.
Mr. Jones, are you looking at that?
Yeah, I'll play the video.
For
It
sure.
doesn't matter. He said something horrible. I mean, okay.
No, we all agree what he said is
No,
horrible. You
no,
can
no,
see it.
no, no. He didn't say
Already
something
moved on.
horrible. No, no, one second, one second. Let's clarify. That's an understatement. He said Israel would need to get rid of every scrap of Palestinian DNA to find peace. That's not horrible anymore. That's literally hate speech, is it not? Wouldn't
Do
it be
you,
considered like some type of hate speech or some type
so
of like
because I didn't use the
genocidal
exact so
intent?
because I didn't use the exact words you want, it doesn't mean that it's horrible.
Yes, because horrible is an understatement.
Okay, great. Horrible is an understatement. He said deplorable, inhumane, disgusting things. Is
Yeah,
that better?
deplorable inhumane things.
Have you ever seen Older Millennial on Pro's Really Live?
But can we
She
go
called
back
him.
to
She called him an amazing ally. Well, the video calls him an amazing ally.
I mean, that's great.
Thank you for being an amazing ally and voice to the voiceless, and for being courageous.
He said terrible things. Okay, they're not justifiable by under any metric. Yet people like you sit on here and prop up groups like Hamas who say that Allah is going to grant them the right to strangle.
Yeah, I don't remember ever doing that. Do you remember?
Yeah, when did we prop
Mr. Jones,
prop
Mr.
up
Jones,
H group?
Mr. Jones, you said a while
Make me
ago
bigger,
that
Parker.
you would not condemn them at all.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
not
I will not
condemn
condemn.
people who are literally living in an apartheid state, fighting against their oppressor. Why would I?
It's not an
Wait. And to clarify, they're condemning the killing of innocent people. They would condemn graping of people. They're not saying that those things are bad. What they're saying is they're not condemning people. Wait. What they're saying is that, I appreciate the handout. Thank you. Is that they're not condemning people for a violent uprising towards a violent occupation.
Exactly.
That quite literally would be condemning most revolutionaries throughout history.
I want to touch on this specifically.
Can I show this, please? Very briefly. I'm so sorry. I just want to show this very briefly. Just very briefly.
Go ahead.
Very briefly. To kind of showcase why older millennial would support Israel.
Elaborate on why colonization is so great. Because everywhere that's been colonized are the best nations on earth. Like, it's just a reality, guys.
Oh, wow. He's pro-colonization. That's why he supports Israel, my guy.
Who is
But
Israel a
anyways.
colony of?
Moderate, do you live in the United States?
I do, sir.
Okay, great. Do you think that the Jewish people have a right to claim Israel as their native land?
Yeah, I think both groups have a claim to that being their.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that same should apply for people that are of Mexican descent or any indigenous groups to the Americas? Should they also have the right to reclaim their indigenous lands?
Yeah, but I think in the context of the situation, it's a little bit different. Like
How
you're asking me like if I want to give up my home.
Oh, do you think so? So you don't want to give up your home the same way the Palestinians didn't want to give up their home?
Yeah, how many of the Palestinians fled before they saw a single Israeli? How many of them were told to leave in ensuing of a 1948 Arab-Israeli war?
Okay, wait one second. Boundaries for today. Wait, hold on one second. Wait, one
They were
second.
forcibly displaced. That was did you just deny the Nakba?
How many
Yeah,
of
he
them were
did.
forcibly
So
displaced?
no, hold on one second. Moderate. One second.
Wait.
One second. One boundary that I have for my project, because you have to understand that this live, Parker is very kind to have offered off this live, but this live is a part of my project, which I'm going to be talking about soon, right? To explain to the 3.7K people. One of the boundaries for my project was no Nakba denial. If you want to sit here and dissect the Nakba and analyze it, you can get off the panel.
The person that made up the word Nakba.
No
denies.
Nakba. What did you just say?
I did not
The
deny
person
it.
that made up the word Nakba denies the Nakba.
Wait, what did you say, Proud?
I said the person that made up the word Nakba, which I don't think you.
Okay, fuck off. Respectfully, sorry. Anyways,
I
that's
don't
very serious.
I don't
No,
deny
you
it.
you say no. You saying they were ordered to leave?
Were they not?
Left themselves? No.
Were they
Again.
not?
Again.
Are there
one
not
more
quotes from
time.
Arab
One more
leaders and
time.
Arab
Moderate,
newspapers?
if you deny
Wait,
the
that's
Nakba,
not a lie.
if you
That's
deny
not
the Nakba,
incorrect.
that is a part of a Nakba denial. I'm setting a
A
boundary.
part, not whole. I don't deny that people were forcibly displaced.
No. You saying that they were ordered to leave is a
There
part
are
of
quote.
Nakba
The
denial.
Arab leaders issued quotes. It's historically documented.
Bye. Sorry. That's a boundary. I'm so sorry, Parker. That is literally a boundary. There will be no Nakba denial in any part of my project. If you want to sit here and deny the Nakba, you can host your own live. You're not going to be a part of this project. Sorry, Parker. Thank you.
You're good. You're good. I will try to find
Before we
another
bring somebody
person
up,
to
do
get
we
up
want to
real
go
quick.
over the project one more time before we bring up another
Yeah,
person?
you can do that real quick.
Go ahead, Athena.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this shit is just nuts, man. I literally said, I literally just asked him about whether he thought indigenous people could reclaim the land in the United States. Oh, but that's different. That's different. That's not the same.
Yeah. I don't see the difference at all.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Anyways, let me focus on this. Oh. Per, can you make me bigger, please?
I got you.
Okay, first of all, I want to say Parker and Mr. Jones are the fucking best. But anyways, so I'm going to introduce the 3.8K people in this live to my project. The project that I have decided to launch to be amplifying Palestinian voices is called From the River Across the Sea. This project is going to focus on amplifying the Palestinian perspective into what is going on today. In Gaza and what has been happening in Palestine in general. I have contacted eight of debaters that I know. They might increase, they might be more as well. These are people I deeply, deeply, deeply respect. People I have care for. Ooh, Mr. Jones. Let me mute him. People I have a lot of care for, and I've contacted them, and they have all actively, enthusiastically agreed to the participation as well of this platform, of this format. These are going to be recurring lives. They're going to focus on either fundraising, debates, or Q&A sessions with Palestinians. They're going to happen on a regular basis for the next couple of weeks, either once a week, either once every 2 weeks. That will be discussed, of course. I'm not going to announce the other debaters that are going to participate because that's going to be a surprise. The fundraiser for today is going to be a painting that Mr. Jones is going to be showing when he comes back. That painting was offered to us by Don Trell, who painted it on a plate. Beautiful painting on a plate. The link to a ticket is in Mr. Jones' hyperlink tree. Go to that link tree, you can buy a ticket, and then you kind of get into that group, kind of a lottery system, and then the person who won the plate is going to be announced on Friday. All the money is going to directly go to Gaza, because currently an active genocide and an active famine is happening in Gaza today. While we're at it, is it okay if I have the segment as well? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
While we're at it, a lot of people are focusing on the number and the statistics of the people who are being unalived. There is a Palestinian creator on this app called Petra who decided to put a face to the people who are being unalived actively. And I wanted to kind of also follow her suit and focus on telling the stories of the people who have been actively unalived by this genocide, and I'll be focusing on them one by one. It's going to be tough, but we're going to be doing it. I'm going to read 5 stories of 5 different people. The first story is from Mohammed Mahmoud al-Sharfa. This is what his wife wrote about him. My husband, the martyr, Mohammed Mahmoud al-Sharfa, was 26 years old. He was the best husband, kind-hearted, affectionate, and loved life. He would help anyone in need, and he was a beloved person with a good reputation and high integrity at his workplace. He worked as an accountant at Al Fahd restaurant and was happy with his job. He would spend long hours at work. It had been a year since our marriage, and Allah blessed us with a daughter whom we named Watin. He was very happy to have her because it was his wish to experience the feeling of being a father. He was eagerly looking forward to hearing the word daddy from Watin because he had grown up as an orphan, deprived of hearing that word. And now he was deprived of it once again as he attained martyrdom before hearing it from his beautiful daughter. Muhammad had many dreams. He dreamed of buying a car and creating a beautiful room for our daughter, Watin. We always planned to build our future together. It was just one day before his martyrdom. He hugged Watin tightly, filled with longing and anticipation, as if he was bidding her farewell and trying to satisfy himself with her presence. He told me at that moment that he felt like he was the next martyr. He took a picture with her, and it became our farewell photo. On December the 6th, Muhammad hurried out of the house to charge the battery. On his way, he saw an ambulance that had stopped working and needed repair. He stopped to help fix the ambulance, and while assisting in transporting the injured to the hospital, he attained martyrdom. The second person, these are going to be very, very tough, y'all. But her father named her Carmel after Mount Carmel in Haifa, hoping to be able to visit one day when Palestine is free. Carmel, an innocent 1-month-old child, was born and martyred in the war. A promising future and beautiful dreams awaited her, but she was unalived by Israeli missiles on February the 20th, 2024. I have another person. I wasn't holding a pew-pew, I was just drawing my brushes. The martyr child Habiba Mahmoud Fahmi Abdul Qadir. I am Habiba, 8 years old from Gaza. I have a beautiful red hair. I study in the 3rd grade and my grades are always high. I love my father and my only brother Omar. My mommy calls me the one who gives hugs. My dream was to become an artist and learn English to tell the world about our suffering in Gaza. When the war started, I was very scared and my body trembled all the times from the sounds of the bombardment and the rockets. But one day I heard a voice telling me not to be afraid. However, my mommy didn't hear it. I held onto my drawing brush to forget the sounds and started drawing my hair. I also drew the television that used to broadcast our news in Gaza. After an hour, they unalived me and destroyed my dreams when they bombarded my house. Habiba was martyred in an Israeli airstrike on her home on October the 25th, 2023. The last one, if y'all saw what happened to Rafah on May 26th, when the massacre happened and the horrific videos came out, you saw a video of a headless baby. That headless baby was Ahmed al-Najjar, who was 1.5 years old. He was the baby that Israel beheaded the night of the tents massacre in Rafah. He loved trampolines, balls, and playing with cats. They never found his head and buried him without it. He was wearing black pants and an orange shirt when he was unalived. His left leg was amputated in the blast. I'm sorry, y'all. His father used to call him Boba or baby because he was the youngest of his siblings. Ahmed used to call potatoes Baba Tada and he called shekels tatels. His mother, his sister Huda, his sister Arkan were all martyred that night. Huda and Ahmed were put in the same body bag. His brothers Muhammad 13 and Yaman 8 both saw his body that night. They're both visibly traumatized and can't talk about their little brother without bursting into tears. Whenever I see a trampoline and his other stuff, his ball and the other things he played with, I feel sad and I miss him. I miss all of them. When I miss them, I pray for God to have mercy on them and to grant them heaven, said his brother Muhammad. These are the faces of the over 36,000 people who have been brutally snuffed by a brutal Zionist occupation. They're being funded by Western governments to continue unaliving them. They were not a number, they were not a statistic, they were human beings who had names and faces and a community and family that loved and cherished them. And if you've known me on Debate Talk for a long time and you know who I am, I'm asking you for a favor. And that favor is a call to action. Number one, I need y'all to raise awareness about what's going on in your family, in your community, in your social media, etc. Two, I need y'all to go to protests. Show the world that you are not okay with whatever the hell is going on in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Palestine, in Congo, and Sudan. Number three, pressure your representatives. Call, email, show up to their office. Pressure them. Number four, support student encampments. If you're a student, be a part of an encampment. And if you're not a student, then actively go and provide them with refreshments or words of encouragement. Number five, boycott any corporation that supports Israel and the genocide. Go to the BDS list and you'll find a list of corporations that you would need to boycott. Number six, vote. Don't only vote on the presidential elections, vote on the local level and get rid of any politician who is corrupt. Please do not leave this on TikTok. When you turn off your TikTok app, you need to do the work outside as well, and you need to be mobilized outside as well, because this cannot continue. Future generations will ask us what the hell we were doing when all of this was happening. And I need y'all to do something about it. This is going to be the project that I'm going to work on. And I am incredibly, incredibly grateful to Parker and to Mr. Jones, who have debuted this project. This is the debut day of it. And the next coming weeks, you will see more lives about this project. So, Mr. Jones, if you're back, maybe you can explain more about the painting, the artwork.
He can give
Oh,
me.
and also, Athena, do you have a Venmo specifically? Someone just sent me a Venmo.
I have PayPal.
To be forwarded to you. I can do it through PayPal.
Okay. It's in my bio, my PayPal.
Okay, for sure.
Okay. This here is the painting. It is what is called a charger plate. The name of this painting is From the River to the Sea. As you can see in the eyes, there's a star and then the bars to symbolize the Palestinian people looking to America, saying, essentially, we see you. We see that you are financing, essentially, a genocide of our people. If you go to the link in my bio, I think it's the second one down. It says Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Each ticket to win this original painting is $50. We would like to sell, a couple of hundred of them by the end of the live, so that we can really make an impact when we send money to people that are literally on the ground in Gaza. The last painting by this artist sold at Neiman Marcus for $52,000. $52,000. So this artist, Dantrell Bonet Boone, has been featured on the cover of Time magazine. He is also on a national monument. So this is your opportunity to win an amazing piece of artwork. If you buy one ticket, you could win. If you buy 10 tickets, you can win. Just know that your money is going towards a good cause. But in addition to that, sorry about that, kids. In addition to that, anybody who's ever collected art knows that it only gains value over time. So yeah, go to the link in my bio. It says Free Palestine, and buy yourself some tickets.
Wait, can I clarify one thing? I just wanted to clarify one
Absolutely.
thing. The humanizing Gazans thing was not my idea. I've never claimed it was my idea. It is a Palestinian creator who is on this live. Her name is Petra. That's why I mentioned it before. I've never claimed that it was my idea. Petra, who is a Palestinian creator, what she chose to do was she chose to humanize Gazans, and on a regular basis, she posts the face of said Gazans and their stories as well. And when I saw that post, I thought that that was a very, very good idea. Petra, if you are in this live, please request. I have never ever claimed that this was my idea. It's not my idea at all. It is 100% Petra's idea. And if you are in this live, Petra, please request. She has been posting these stories of Palestinian people every single time, every couple of days, and has been working hard on it. It was never my idea. And I never claimed that it was my idea. So if Petra is in this live, please do request. She has been posting these in multiple servers that she has been in.
I don't think I see them in the guest box. I am looking though. All right. Should we get back to the conversations, or is there something else we should address real quick?
Get back to the conversations. Like I said, guys, go to the link in my bio. The link is Free Palestine. Buy yourself a ticket. There's 2,700 of you guys in here, so I know we can sell at least a couple hundred. That should be an easy. An easy win.
All right, let's get on to the next person, everyone. If you do want the U.S. to send money to Israel, make sure to set a guest request, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
28.
Yeah, are you going to be, do you think the U.S. should send money to Israel?
Yes and no.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think there's two sides to it.
What sides?
Well, they are an ally. They are pretty strong. They do pretty good research in terms of like even COVID. They were coming out with breakthroughs, and they're probably ahead of America on that.
How does this mean that we should give money to Israel?
So,
and where? What did they do that did better than the U.S. as it relates to the development of vaccinations?
I think they administer them quicker than America did. But no,
even if that was true, that doesn't mean that we should send money to them.
No, so the money that goes to them kind of comes right back into our pocket.
No.
Yeah, they're what do they call it? The Iron Dome, or the defense missiles system. It's a U.S.-Israeli collaboration.
How do you feel about the offensive weapons that are sent to Israel?
I don't really think any war is ours to fight for anybody else unless it's necessary.
So you don't think we should send money to Israel for offensive weapons?
No, not offensive.
Sure. Mish, you unmuted. Is there something you wanted to say real quick?
No, he ended up saying no offensive weapons to Israel, that it should just have its defense weapons. I mean, I said it in the beginning to, I think, the first guy. It shouldn't come without conditions. It shouldn't be unconditional support. It should come with the condition that, all right, you allow people to come in and investigate. You stop disenfranchising or marginalizing the Palestinians on at least these ridiculously absurd levels that are, honestly, bro, it's unimaginable. Like the things that do not get reported would astonish you. So there has to be a certain line where, look, just don't cross these lines. We'll make sure that you have your defense equipment. Understandable. But making it so unconditional is absurd. And they're quite literally a proxy to funnel weapons into other Arab countries. They funnel weapons into the UAE. The UAE funnels those weapons into Sudan. They're offensive weapons. They go to places and do things that you could not imagine. We're not the whole picture of the atrocities that they're complicit in. So their defensive weapons should be very conditional as to what allows them to have those weapons, that they have to follow certain guidelines, they have to be within certain laws and certain rules that are set in place. As of now, there are none.
Colby, thank you for the $2. Wasn't me, thank you for the $10. And Winter, thank you for the $3. Thank you so much. And then Heather, thank you so much for the $10. Yeah, so Eric, is there anything else you'd like to add before going to the next person?
No, I'm just listening.
Sure.
Hey,
All
Moz,
right,
can we look out for the anti-Semitism in the chat? Like I've seen it multiple times. Like that's not we're not here for that.
All right, it's not accepting this person. Let me
Thank
get
you,
the
Perfect
next.
Mix Custom Creations. I appreciate you.
I wish TikTok let me have more mods, because it's with like the 30 they give me, like, and only people could be there sometimes. It's like really hard to mod the chats with so many people. All right, let's try to get the next person. Everyone, please only send a guest request if you think we should send money to Israel, y'all. All right, let's get this next person up here. Again, everyone, please only send a guest request if you do disagree with us. Oh, and Athena, did you see my Discord? All right, let's try to add this person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
So 19.
For sure. Do you think that we should send money to Israel?
Partially, yes.
Why do you think we should send offensive weapons to Israel?
Because as a Christian, I would say I have to support Israel in a sense. I think it's war. I don't think we should.
So are you just saying because of your religion?
No, not necessarily just because of my religion.
Okay. Do you have any secular reason?
It's the promised land, but hold on. I want to go back to the topic.
Do you have any secular reason?
Can I talk real quick?
Well, I'm not going to accept religion as a justification.
Why not? That doesn't even make sense.
I can have a conversation with you about God and about religion on a different day. I just don't think that that's something that you should use in this context here. I can show you those. I'll run that, but that's not what this live is specifically for.
That's fine, but since we're on the topic though, what is it? The whole thing with the Kobe thing, do y'all really think that like what's going on is so bad when it's literally just a war? I mean, it's a war.
No, it's not just a war.
Also,
Well, I get
the
it's
United
a war.
States is not a really quickly. United States is not a Christian nation, so like us and not all of everybody in America are Christians.
Right, the whole world is. It's a Christian nation. It's the highest, most believed in. Religion.
Okay, everybody in America is not a Christian, so our tax dollars, you know what I'm saying, shouldn't collectively be going to another nation because you, as a Christian, believe, in this holy land, holy war nonsense, because not everybody in the United States is a Christian, and America is not a Christian nation.
You serious?
Yes, absolutely, I'm serious. Anyways,
Okay,
go ahead with the rest of your conversation.
I just want to know, like, why are y'all so worried about civilians dying in war, first of all, when we know, as I'm sure as every human being on this earth knows, that with comes war comes death. So why are we talking about civilians, which I don't necessarily think is obviously right, that like civilians are dying, but it's war. I mean, whether y'all protest or not, it's not gonna change the outcome.
You do understand that like there's international rules in terms of combat, right? Like you do understand that there's fixed rules that regulate what you can and can't do in war, right?
Yes, I get that, but I'm saying when like in general, I'm saying just in
Gotcha.
general, like, you
Gotcha.
know,
But also, right? They're called rules of engagement. But also, this is not a war. This is an occupying
it's a fight
force,
over
right?
land.
Further,
Yeah,
what's that?
the fight over land. Yeah,
No, it's an occupying force, quite literally stealing land and resources from from a group of indigenous people. This is a colonization. This is a forced colonization. This is a G-side.
it's not. I mean, yeah, I get that. Like I know I get what you were saying with the whole with like when that one guy came in, you were like, well, how would you feel if like the native people or so-called Mexican people, indigenous people came to America and took over?
It's not
I
what I
get
said.
that point.
It's not what I said.
What
I said
are you talking
Came
about?
to America?
Or no, not came to America. Sorry, claim and took back America.
They still live in America. You understand? Like America's a
Yes, yes,
continent.
I understand that.
Yeah. So I said come into the United States and reclaim their indigenous lands.
Yes.
Wait, does Mish want to say something about this? Because he's been on mute
I
for a
don't
while.
know.
But I'm saying, why are we trying to like support, like y'all are wanting to fund someone whose project is based around civilians we have never met, civilians across foreign waters.
Says the one who wants to send money to Israel.
Hold on.
Yeah, but that's it's more of.
Hold on. Didn't you just say you were a Christian?
Yes.
What does Jesus say?
Exactly what?
Whatever you have done unto the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you have also done unto me.
Wait, 1 second. Can we hear from Mish, please?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how would you feel if we as Muslims around the world, you know, like all 2 billion of us, how would you feel if we mobilized for a cause that we felt like Islamically only because of Islam and we're entitled to A, B, and C because of our religion, and we mobilize based on that idea?
Sorry, repeat. Sorry, I just got a call. Repeat what you said. I'm sorry.
How would you feel if we as Muslims around the world, all 2 billion plus of us, decided to mobilize and operate in a certain manner specifically based on our religion? That, all right, we're gonna appropriate this land for ourselves. We're gonna take this from these people for ourselves because we're Muslim and we're better than them. How would you feel if that was the how would you feel if we did that?
I mean, we're not. It's not about fighting religions at this point. Christianity is the truth, and I can prove that. But I don't think there would be quite enough time in this life to do that, and I don't think this
I honestly respect your belief, but beliefs are irrelevant at the end of the day.
That's what you were just talking about. You said as a Muslim.
How would you feel? Like, okay, so we're just gonna say, all right, because your religion is the truth, we're gonna go and say we're gonna let the Israelis just do whatever they want. We're gonna give them weapons, and because they're our friends, that they could pillage, that they could just rain hell upon a civilian population of people that they've subjugated and marginalized for decades, that we're just gonna say that's okay.
Fight back.
As soon as we do, everybody's pointing fingers like, look at these guys. They're the backward, savage, barbaric Arab Muslims. Look at them. Look at them.
Why should you be so worried about other people's beliefs if you're fighting for what you believe?
Hold on.
This is
they
a war
are
on
fighting
fronts.
back. Like that's how this whole shit started.
This is a war on multiple fronts. So at the end of the day, when people start understanding that it's not the story that you were told and with the story that they sold you on, all right, that this is the reality, when we actually pull the veil back and show them what's really happening, the scales tip. That's just as important, even and sometimes in history, it's more important than the actual physical aspect of combat. First of all, when you actually show them what's going on, like look at World War II, the H cost. Nobody knew shit until the Western Allies got to the camps. No one knew nothing. Imagine had people known prior what was happening, all the things that they said that they would do if they knew it was happening. Now we're showing them, okay, you're the people who wouldn't have done shit had you known. And we're separating ourselves from these individuals. It's that simple. Religion, belief, whatever, it doesn't give you a right over somebody else's property or land or any of that.
It does when Christianity has become more than just a religion as y'all's perspective, y'all see it. But when you actually study the Bible, when you read it, etc., and you go through it and you see the historical evidence behind it,
You understand we have the oldest Christians in the world. Like, respectfully, and no disrespect to a lot of my other brothers and sisters that are Christian. We quite literally have some
Why
of
are we
the
talking so much
majority of
about
the oldest.
Christianity? I don't, dude.
He keeps
If you want to talk about
going.
Christianity,
you don't feel comfortable,
We have some
Parker?
of the oldest Christians in the
Don't feel
world. We have the oldest
comfortable?
churches in the
Alex,
world.
Alex,
Aw.
Alex, I feel totally comfortable talking about Christianity. I literally debate it as one of my main topics. Your view is totally incoherent, but this is not the point of the live, and I've already expressed that to you.
Well, she brought in this guy and started talking, so that's exactly what she was trying to do right there.
No, you
Covey-
brought up religion.
No,
Yeah.
Covey. Well, I did.
No, the
I brought
first
him
thing
to
you said was religion.
Hold on. I brought it up, but you wanted to go aside from it, and I was like, okay, whatever. But Covey kept talking, interrupting, very disrespectfully, trying to get this
When?
Mish guy in.
Very disrespectfully.
Yes,
Microaggressions.
it was no. It's
I
not.
witnessed none of
She
that.
didn't say a single disrespectful thing.
If you feel
Like, what the hell did she do?
I could care less, but I'm saying it was a
You're like TikTok
discussion.
TOS. Like, literally, right? Athena doesn't do anything wrong, and TikTok just bans them.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
TikTok
anywho, like the a religious
being
conversation
sensitive
is
because
not
you
a
got banned?
conversation you want to have with either of us. I mean, like literally, you'll get dog walked to the end of the earth.
Okay.
So, and you don't have any secular reasons. So, I don't even understand why you're still up here at this point. To be quite frank with you,
To be
like,
quite
I don't,
frank,
I don't
yeah.
think, I don't think that you have any idea what
Is
you're talking
Mish
about.
done?
I don't have any idea what
I
I'm talking
think
about.
so, but he cut him off. I don't know. Mish, were you done?
Wait, Mish, were you
I
you
mean,
done?
yeah, he's just
Look,
not
she's
gonna
keep
answer.
trying to bring him in. How are you gonna tell me this is all mine for? She keeps bringing him in.
What did she do? She was quiet that whole time, bro. You're literally
She's
such
the
a
one that
snowflake,
keeps
Alex.
writing this guy in. That y'all are talking, and then she's like, "Oh, Mish." Like,
Yeah, because you interrupted him while he was talking.
I joined the live to talk to Parker and this Mr. Jones guy to talk about.
Yeah, and Mish is a set panelist. That's why.
Okay,
And you
but why
interrupted him while
he
you
wasn't
interrupted
talking.
him.
He was never talking the whole time.
Alex, just be quiet and let me speak, please.
Oh my god, dude.
Thank you. So yeah, your beliefs don't give you the right to appropriate people's land or subjugate or marginalize them in any way. There are none of the faiths that actually say that. None of them. And we also have the oldest Christians in the world, bro. We have the oldest churches in the world, respectfully.
We have the oldest manuscripts in the world.
What? They come from our region. They come from our region, first of all. So we're not talking. It's not jumping into religion. It's pointless.
Exactly, y'all's own.
That doesn't give you carte blanche to do whatever you want to
Own
do.
people. We have the oldest manuscripts. Like what? What are you talking? Explain what you're trying to.
Who is we? Are you Ethiopian? What is he talking about?
Exactly.
Explain what you were trying to say.
I'm trying to figure out which manuscripts are you talking about.
There's 9,000. We have 9,000.
None of them are from wherever you're from. I could 100%.
I'm not. When did I say that? I was saying me as a Christian.
Because we have the oldest manuscripts. I'm telling you, we have the oldest Christians, the oldest living Christians. You know who have.
Okay, yeah.
So let's not. Don't sit there and jump and say, yeah, because religion, because I'm a Christian, we should give them weapons to take out the Palestinians. That was the dumbest thing I've heard in my life.
How's that the dumbest thing you've ever heard?
It's
what?
I'm gonna.
Alex just said the quiet part out loud. You literally just said that's what you want to do. You want to give them money to take out Palestinians?
I mean, yeah. I mean, to fight back. Yeah, we're fighting. It's a war. What are you talking about? I don't want to hear that, Parker, because you're like basically anti-war. I saw you when you were on live the other day or the other week, and you were talking about someone, and a guy was saying that he might have killed people in war or something. You got so upset about that, acting like if that's not how war is like people have to
That
die.
person was justifying them killing innocents.
That happens in war, Parker. Like my brother.
I know you just saying it happens in war does not mean it should happen in war.
Go talk.
That's
to
a naturalistic fallacy, Alex.
Oh my god. They have.
What are you saying? Oh my god! About
generals.
that's what a naturalistic fallacy is.
They have lieutenants and generals that have to tell them what to do.
You know that one quote from Jesus? Let's go to war and kill them all.
They have no control over them killing people.
What do you mean they have no control? They do, right? Again,
They
right? We just read a UN
over-
report that specifically said that the use of heavy weapons specifically indicated that Israel was intentfully killing civilians.
I want you to prove that to me, that they're intently killing.
We literally read it
You want me to
off.
read it? I'll read it again. I'll read it again. No problem.
Mr. Jones, your mic might be muted.
Is
I
it
hear
muted
you,
now?
but I hear you, but it says it's muted. So can y'all hear him in the chat?
Is it better now? Can you guys hear
It still says
me?
it's muted, but people still. I think people can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Um,
No. The answer is no. Okay.
What? Wait, people in the chat aren't even responding.
All right. Can you hear me now? They did respond. I can see it. It says no on the screen.
It says just ignore them, Parker. Whoa. Am I lagging or something?
No, you're not like.
They're saying it's not a war in the chat. I would
Can you
ever
hear
be
me
pro
now?
War. My chat's. I think my chat is delayed.
I saw Be Blessed and I trust her. She said she could hear you. I just don't know. I can't tell if
Let
it's
me go
that.
on my other account. I don't know why it's. What the hell?
They said it's super delayed.
Yeah, my chat is delayed on my thing, but they can hear you apparently.
No, they said they can't hear me.
Some people say they can't hear you. Maybe it's something with me here. Let me swipe out of the app, swipe back in, or here. Let me mute. Well, let me. Oh, I sent you an invite to unmute.
Nothing.
Try now.
Can you guys hear me now? I see my blue box hanging up.
Wait. Just send a guest request back. I think
Okay.
that's the best way to fix it. And then Athena, the same thing might be applicable. I think that's the best way to fix it. And then Athena, the same thing might be applicable to you. I don't know if it did the same thing with you.
What's applicable to me?
Oh no, never mind. We're good. Super weird. All right, you're good.
Are
Mr.
we good
Jones,
now?
Go for it.
We good? Okay, cool. Yeah, so the UN Rights Office report details 6 incidents that took place October 7 and December 2, in which it was able to assess the kinds of weapons, the means, and the methods used in these attacks. We felt that it was important to get this report out now, especially because in the case of some of these attacks, some 8 months have passed, and we have yet to see credible and transparent investigations. That was from the spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office. She added that in the absence of transparent investigations, there would be a need for intentional action in this regard. They also condemned Israel's military methods in Gaza, saying the use of heavy weapons in densely populated areas constitutes an intentional and direct act on the civilian population. Commissioner Chris Sadati later told reporters that its findings, which are being shared with the International Criminal Court, show that Israel was one of the most criminal armies in the world. He said the inquiry, which aims to investigate the treatment of hostages as well as that of thousands of Palestinian detainees in Israeli jails, had so far been hindered by Israel. Far from having cooperation, what we have encountered is obstruction.
So we're listening to where our credible evidence is from a human activist.
No, this is from the UN.
Yeah, the human. Wait, hold on. Repeat it. What is
the
Explain to
UN's
me.
the UN's Rights Office, the United Nations Rights Office? Like,
I mean, but like, okay, look, this is my whole thing. All right, I didn't growing up, I didn't. Actually, I'm not even gonna talk about that, but I don't take my evidence straight from the internet. I'm not gonna lie. I don't credit the internet at all. That's not who I listen to. So if it's just being told to me straight off the internet, I'm for the most part.
where do you get your information from,
Pay
Alex?
attention to it.
Where do you get your
People
information from?
People directly.
Okay, so you've been to Israel?
No.
Have you been to Palestine?
No.
So what direct people are you talking about?
What? Huh? I'm not taking internet information. What are you talking about? I don't pay attention.
What
to the
direct
news. I
people
don't
are you
pay
talking
attention to the
about?
internet.
Yeah, what direct
Huh?
people are you talking about?
What do you mean direct people?
You said that's where you get your information from. Direct people. Which direct people?
Well, okay, but like we, as people, we know what's going on. Like we know you hear it, but
From where?
obviously the news, but that's different. That
Where
is
does the news
completely
come from?
Boop, thank you for the subscription.
This it could be so one-sided for someone to say that they're just innocently killing civilians.
Well, this is from the United Nations.
Okay.
It's still the internet.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of credible, but
Bro,
you said no. You said it was a human. It was a human activist that reported.
No, that's not
this.
what I said.
What would you say? It was
I said
someone. No.
the UN Rights Office, the spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office.
Okay, Human Rights Office is like, oh.
I can't hear you, Alex.
Another
Can't
child left
hear
behind.
you, Alex.
Our public education system is a fucking hot dumpster juice, bro.
It's the worst. This is why we need to invest more in education.
Yeah, he's gone. Can we bring up the next person, please? For the
Yeah.
Save me, white Jesus.
Let's get this next person up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I am 23.
And are you oh, sorry. Do you think that the U.S. should send money to Israel?
So I don't think we should send money to Israel or Ukraine. But I just want to give my stance real quick on Israel.
No thanks.
All right, let's get to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will, if you do support U.S. money going to Israel. All right. Is it not going to accept this person? TikTok is just so great, dude. It's so good. Honestly, I've never used a better app. Never in my life. All right, give it a second, everyone. 1 minute, everyone. Trying to get someone up here who does disagree. Do give it 1 second, y'all.
How many people, many children were unalived in 9/11? Not many. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, there was adults in the Pentagon. There was adults in the World Trade Center. What?
Yo, what's up? How old are you, Brandon? Oh my gosh. All right. Let's try
Why
to
would
get the next
somebody
person,
say
everyone.
like? Why would somebody say that?
All right. Let's get the next person. None of these people are being accepted. I apologize, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Oh my.
Hello?
Chat, I'm so...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, perfect.
Heard that person literally, like, as soon as they literally got kicked. All right, everyone, I'm sorry. It's taking a minute to get people up here. I do apologize. TikTok is very annoying sometimes. Very frustrating. Hello?
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, please call me by name because your live has several glitches going on. I don't know what the problem was when you called me before. I wasn't sure if you were specifically speaking to me. I think Mish made a point about something about the Holocaust. About
Do you think that the U.S. should send money to Israel?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm very disgusted with what Israel is doing. I believe.
Okay. All right, everyone, only send a guest request if you do think that U.S. money should go to Israel, everyone. Oh, my. Let's get this next person up here.
I mean, I feel like we have debaters. Mish, maybe you can kind of like tell us more about like the West Bank. I think if that's the case. Mm-hmm.
So, specifically, like so some of the things that I was telling these guys about earlier in the Zayas, they kind of didn't address the points. They just said, I think it's heinous. I think it's bad. Let me see this guy.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
How old are you?
I am 33.
Do you think U.S. money should go to Israel?
Absolutely.
Okay, why so?
Why is that? Why is that? Is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think primarily it's just a very beneficial relationship. I don't think there would be any reason for us to not support them, especially considering the national security threat that they're under. Undermining their right to national security would only support the T groups in the region that are funded by Iran. So if you were to call for defunding of Israel without calling for defunding of Iran, which wouldn't happen at all, it would be very incongruous and unfair. It would only serve to disadvantage Israel, which is an ally of ours. I think also it's important to note that we give them $3.3 billion worth of aid, whereas they invest $24 billion into the US. So you receive a considerable amount of benefit from partnering with them.
Yeah. Is there anything that Israel could do that would make you not want to support them?
Yeah. So what would make me not support Israel is if the things that the H group supporters said about them, which were true, which they are not.
Just give me an example of what you're referencing.
So, for example, Covey had brought up that child that had lost his head. I think it is very important to acknowledge that what happened there, that Israel, the IDF, was not targeting a camp, which is abhorrent and ridiculous. They were targeting two Hamas officials that were outside of the safe zone. The tent, the encampment that was there was 500 feet away. I just got blocked and...
What? He just left. No flag, just left. He said he got blocked. I didn't block him. How the hell would it tell him he got blocked before he left my stream? It would also tell me a mod blocked him, chat. What the fuck just happened, bro? Okay. I guess I gotta go to another person.
So
do give it a second.
Can I just point out
Go ahead.
something? Somebody made a very good point. Crow made it. Israel is not an ally of the United States. They're a non-NATO country. They're considered a non-NATO strategic partner. And the only other country with that designation is Egypt. So they are not, in fact, an ally of the United States. We use, like I said, we use them for weapons development and for intelligence in the region.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
June.
What day?
Bro, you trying to have me dox myself?
What? Me asking for the date, your date of birth. It's not you doxing yourself.
I mean, it's pretty personal info.
Just tell me.
5th.
The 5th? So you said you're 18?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so do you think that the U.S. should send money to Israel?
I just find it funny that, like, you say this, but then, like, you're voting for Biden.
Can you, like, answer the question?
He supports Israel.
Yeah, and I think that's bad, and we're comparing one versus the other, but we're not talking about that here today. Would you like to, do you want the U.S. to send money to Israel?
Nah.
Okay.
Hypocrite, though.
How is that being hypocritical? All right, we're going to go to the next person.
Some people just need attention so bad.
It's like, what? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, they left.
Literally just come up here next time and say, hey, Parker, I'm a fan. And then say bye. Thank you.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I don't know how I got up. I didn't
You're
request.
good, don't worry.
Alright, thanks.
Alright, let's go to the next person. Everyone, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump. Sorry. I'm used to it.
Used to
so
say that.
used to it.
Parker, I'm a fan and I need attention. You could have sent him a DM for that.
People saying she had a point. It's one or the other, y'all. Isaiah, how old are you?
I didn't request up. Can you kick me off?
You did, but have a good day.
I think the last lady said she didn't request either.
Yeah, like what?
TikTok ain't requesting for you, that's for sure.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Well, I'm 29.
Yeah, are you wanting to send money to Israel? Sorry, I'm like catching myself wanting to.
I mean, like, I'm not wanting to, but I understand why America needs to. You know what I'm
Needs
saying?
to? Okay, they don't need to, but he doesn't want to. So we'll go on to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, do you think the U.S. should send money to Israel?
Absolutely not.
Nice.
Absolutely not.
So what other things do you need to apply for permits for, Mish? You said building permits?
You need building permits for quite literally everything. Quite literally everything. There's a house in our village. It's been partially built as just a carcass. So the main floor, the carcass of the stairs, and it's no walls whatsoever. And then the top floor, which is no walls either, or a ceiling. They refused permits for I think 20-something, 30-something years. That house has been there since I remember, and I remember being there like 28 years ago, and unallowed to build. So even if you want to develop a well, if you want to put up solar panels that we receive, which is extremely difficult to even receive the solar panels, you're not allowed to put them up without the permit. But they quite literally disapprove over 90% of the applications to build. And then if you build without a permit, they come and they destroy what you build and say it's an illegal structure. And they do a bunch of things. Earlier, actually, the PA
Hello.
closed. Yeah, hello.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
And do you think the U.S. should send money to Israel?
I just want to say we all really, really appreciate what you do for us and for running this topic and educating us all on this topic. We really appreciate it. And to Athena, we really, really appreciate what you've done for us and talking about their stories. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.
You too.
You can continue, by the way.
Yeah, so quite literally anything that you want to build needs a permit. The majority of the gross majority of which, over 90%, are denied completely outright. And they quite literally destroy probably 50 more structures a year than the structures that they even approve. So they'll destroy, I have a report over here on my desk. They razed over 1,000 structures to the ground. They built 500 Israeli structures, and they approved 33 permits. The permit doesn't specifically state whether it's for solar panels, for a water well, or for a house, but only 33 permits were approved. And this is in the Area C. This report came out in 2017. So they deny everything, and it's a strangling occupation. It's just a constant foot on your neck, and you quite literally just cannot maneuver. You can't even go to work. You cannot get a job over there because they don't allow you to move. If you live in certain areas in the West Bank outside of a major city where you could find employment that actually pays you something decent, you find yourself not being able to get to work 3-4 days a week, just consistently, or you find a way to get there around the blockades. It takes you an extra 2 hours or 3 hours just to go around the specific checkpoints that are completely shut down. The one by my village is almost consistently completely shut down. They say we can't leave for almost 4 days, 5 days from this checkpoint. The only way around it is a 3-hour alternate route. And they do that specifically.
No, they're not telling you that you can't leave. They're telling you can't enter Israel.
That's not entering Israel. That's the West Bank. That's going from Nabi Saleh to Ramallah. That's not leaving and going into
Israel. Force right now in Israel is being changed. It's being transformed.
It's been a suffocating occupation for decades, first of all. We've actually talked about this before, Oz, and you honestly didn't even answer any of my questions back then. You just said, oh, yeah, you're going to keep on running on a tangent about we're changing our government.
I don't recall having a conversation with you, but if you say
We
we
had a
did,
conversation not too long ago.
it's possible. It's possible. Look, we see things, from a different point of view. So I see it from an Israeli point of view. You see it from a Palestinian point of view.
I see it from an oppressed point of view, period.
Well, listen, it's sad that you feel that way, but the truth of the matter is that the only ones that are oppressing your people is your governing body.
So what are we supposed to do about not having permits to build anything, any sort of accommodation for us to live, or not even to thrive, just to live, to have a roof over our heads, not being allowed to build that? What are we not supposed to resist not being allowed to travel down the road that we lived down our whole lives? I want to ask you honestly, are we supposed to resist or are we supposed to accept it?
There's a difference between resisting, okay? There's a resistance, and then there's terror attacks. What they did was a terror attack. That's not a resistance.
My village where I'm from is world famous for peaceful resistance. You know how they responded to us? We're famous for. I'm from Nebi Saleh, Tamimi family. We're well known for peaceful resistance for decades now. So the question is,
Jones, we can hear you, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
so the way they've responded to us in recent years is by endless campaigns against our village. They taking out our children. They unalived a 2-3-year-old toddler. All right. I don't know how to talk about it by filtering myself with the TikTok words. One of my cousins had half his head blown off, 14 years old. And then he was arrested the day he got out of the hospital, beaten by Israelis, and told, say you fell off a bike when the news reporters asked you. And he got threatened with his family. The question is, on what level? And that's peaceful resistance. They have never found a weapon in my village. All right? They have never found anything. And if they found something on my family.
I'm sorry for your loss about your cousin, but I also lost a cousin as well by the age group members. So what am I gonna continually,
Well, I'm telling you what you're saying that's violent resistance. That's why there's occupation. I'm telling you, especially in my family, you could watch videos, right? There was no violent resistance that was coming from us. So I'm asking you for a solution. I'm not debating with you right now. I'm asking you for an honest solution.
No. I mean,
All right?
honestly, if you're really asking me for a solution, I'll be honest with you. Look, I'll be the first one on your camp, to try to get your cause across. To be honest with you, even as an Israeli. But my biggest fear is knowing that when I'm on your camp, I'm on a camp that I'm safe. I don't want to be on your camp and then have to worry about getting unalived. Okay, so, and I think that's what happened on October 7th. And you guys keep saying that we keep mentioning October 7th, and there's a reason why we keep mentioning that. And the reason is because the people that were advocating for a one-state solution, those were the ones that got unalived. Okay, by people that they trusted and let in their homes. Okay, these were Gazans that lived close to the border, who worked in Israel, who had a good relationship with the people of Kibbutz Be'eri, and the people of Kibbutz Be'eri were betrayed by them, And so you got to understand that there's a sense of fear as well, and it's going to take a long time. But I honestly think that if you really want to have a better future for your people, you have to recognize where the problem exists. Okay, and I'm not saying that the government of Israel is perfect. Okay, there's flaws, but you can't just point the finger and say, you know what, it's Israel's fault. It's Israel's fault, because it's not 100% Israel's fault.
You can,
because
and I'm gonna explain why right now. So in March of 2018, Palestinians were protesting at the Gaza fence border with Israel. Israeli troops opened fire on them. More than 170 Palestinian people were unalived. Right? That was just that day, which prompted fighting between Hamas and Israeli forces. And then May of 2021, after weeks of tension during Ramadan, hundreds of Palestinians were injured by Israeli security forces in the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem. Hamas demanded Israel withdraw security forces from the compound, and then Israel launched air raids on Gaza in response to what it said were rockets fired from Gaza. However, they didn't let anybody investigate it. There's no proof that Hamas actually launched any rockets at them. You know what I'm saying? They just said they launched rockets at us, and that's why we're doing this air raid. That shit went on for 11 days. 260 people were killed in Gaza. And then in August of 2022, more than 30 Palestinians, including women and children, were unalived in a new air attack carried out by Israeli planes. So I mean, this is all leading up. This is all leading up just to, you know what I'm saying, just to your October 7th event. But I mean, we could go back to November of 2012, December of 2008, June of 2006, January of 2006. Like, I mean, we can go back and see these constant attacks. But that's just a couple of dates. But then let's focus on the lack of resources that were available in this region, right? When over 2,000 children are dying every year simply from malnutrition because of their cut off from resources by the Palestinian people, and you expect them to just take it in perpetuity. Like, yeah, you know what? I don't care. I don't care that our children keep on alive. I'm still speaking. I don't care that our children are dying. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to sit here and keep taking it. And then to say, oh, well, your leadership, your elected leadership is doing this. When nearly 50% of the population is under the age of 18 and over 50% of the population is under the age of 19, right? That means that they didn't elect Hamas. They didn't choose them. They didn't ask them to be their leadership. They don't even know what the fuck, some of them don't even know what the fuck a Hamas is. They're just children like living day to day trying to survive. And you're like, oh, well, this is your leadership. Hamas is not a government. Hamas is not an established government. Hamas is not an established government. Palestine is not an established nation. This is not a war. This is an occupation. This is colonization. This is oppression of the Israeli people against the Palestinian people in an attempt to steal land and resources. Period.
This is a war against terrorists.
There's no, this is not. Then if it's a war against terrorists, the terrorists are the IDF.
You know what the sad truth is? This is going to be a boomerang effect, And when it comes back to hit you right on the back of your head, you're going to realize that everything that Israel stood for and stands for,
you escaped a Holocaust only to commit one. Bravo the fucko.
No, we did not commit a Holocaust.
Bravo.
The ones that were trying to commit a Holocaust were the ones that entered Israel that day on October 7th, and the ones that were trying to.
So we're just going to ignore the multitude of air raids and bombings on the Gazan people.
You keep yapping your mouth. Hold on.
We're just going to ignore the air raids and bombings on the Gazan people.
You keep yapping your mouth. Slow down.
I will keep yapping my mouth. So you're going to talk about the 1,000 people on October 7th, but not the tens of thousands of people prior to that.
Speak now. You keep talking. Let me speak, okay? You keep talking. You don't even, have you ever been to the region? Do you even know what goes on there? Or you're just from your standpoint of what you see on TikTok? Is this where you get your education from?
Yeah, I get it from TikTok.
You get your education from TikTok?
Yeah.
Is that what you really believe?
Yeah.
Israel's been fighting. Israel's the only one. Israel's the only friend that the Gazan people have that is willing to give them an opportunity to have their own state. All the other Arab nations don't want them to have it. Listen, they're using them as a scapegoat. You have to see the picture a little clearer. They're using them as a scapegoat for their agenda, which is Iran and all the other neighboring countries that don't want Israel to exist. Okay, so that's why they're causing this conflict.
What did the framers of Zionism say? Like, what did they say? What were the words of the framers of Zionism?
Look,
what were their intentions from the beginning? What were their intentions from the beginning?
You keep deflecting.
What were their intentions? No, you're deflecting. I named off tens of thousands of people that died prior to October 7th, and you want me to ignore the tens of thousands of people that died prior to October 7th.
Then educate everyone else. I think everyone here is open to that.
He wants me to ignore the tens of thousands of people that died prior to October 7th and only focus on the people that died on October 7th.
There's casualties of war. Okay, and for every action, there's a reaction. Okay,
there's a violent occupation.
And listen to me. They knew exactly what the consequences would be of October 7th. They knew the consequences. It's not like they went in there with 1,000 or 2,000 soldiers.
Why can't we investigate October 7th? Why can't an outside, outside
once the conflict is over,
why can't somebody? Why do we hold on? So we have to wait years to investigate what actually happened on October 7th? We should have to wait years? Or should it be investigated immediately so that we can see if you have a viable claim to even go into Gaza?
That's intel that neither you or me have the information, and I'm sure they're going to do a thorough investigation and they're
Exactly.
going to get to the bottom of it. I'm sure that there was something there that wasn't right, because that should have never happened. I totally agree with you on that. Okay, but right now we're in a time of conflict, so I don't think right now the main agenda.
So what you're saying is let the G side happen. So let the G side happen first, and then see if Israel was justified in even attacking in the first place.
Why is it that it's so easy to point the finger at Israel and say, you know what? Yeah, you guys are committing the G-side, but in essence, the ones that are committing the G-side is the ones that's depriving their people. Okay, they're depriving their people of actually having a better future by not putting down their arms. If they would have put their arms down and they would
give
say,
up.
you know what?
So give up.
Give up what?
Yeah.
Give up what?
Live under apartheid. Live under apartheid rule forever.
But explain to me. Okay, just explain to me like a 5-year-old. Okay, and explain to me what is it that they're fighting for.
Sure.
What is it they're fighting for?
Sure.
Right? Explain it to me like a 5-year-old so I can have
Oz,
a better understanding.
where do you live currently, Oz?
I live in New York.
Okay, in New York. You have a brownstone,
No.
a condo, a single family home.
House.
You have a house?
Single family home.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So say I came into your home, right? And I said, "Hey, Oz, listen, you're gonna have to move into the basement because my family, you know what I'm saying, my family used to live in this neighborhood, so I'm gonna need you to live in the basement of this house." Right? And then I forced you into the basement, you know what I'm saying? And then I locked the door to the basement. And then sometimes I would turn on the water to the basement, and sometimes I wouldn't turn on the water to the basement. It depends on how I felt about you that day. It depends on how I felt about you that week. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like I would let you come up into the main part of the house and do some work, right? Like I'll let you do some work and maybe you can eat a good meal that day. But then once you're done, you have to go back to the basement. And then I'm going to return to the treatment of giving you water when I feel like it. And don't fucking hurt yourself because I may or may not give you medical supplies to take care of yourself. And you know what I'm saying? Like don't get too hungry because I may or may not decide that I want to allow you to have any extra food. I'm going to keep you on. I'm going to determine how many calories you actually need to survive, and I'll make sure you have just that and nothing more.
But none of what you're saying is facts. Okay,
but it
Nothing
is.
you're saying is fact. It's not, and let me explain.
But it
to you
is.
why, okay, because Israel only holds 6% of Gaza's water. Okay, so the remaining 94% is controlled by them. Okay,
we already addressed this. Okay, so we're gonna address that lie. So one lie at a time.
Okay,
so
and
hold on. 90% of the water. 90% of the water. 90% of Gaza's water comes from the coastal aquifer basin.
You're not having a conversation.
Because you said a thing, and I'm going to address the thing. You said a thing, I'm going to address the thing. You say a thing, I'm going to address the thing. 90% of Gaza's
you're not
water.
Letting me address anything. You're not.
I
letting me
will.
address anything.
You named the thing. Now I'm addressing the thing.
Because I don't have the patience.
You name. Then leave. Then leave.
Oz. I'll moderate it this real quick. So like I'll make it so that you have time to speak. Let's address this point by point. I think that would be effective.
Exactly.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm willing to do that.
You made a claim. I'm going to address the claim. You made a claim. I'm going to address the claim.
No, you made a claim, and I'm addressing it, and I'm telling you.
No, you're not. You said you said you just made the point about the water, so I'm going to address the water. 90% of Gaza's water supply comes from the coastal aquifer basin, which runs along the eastern Mediterranean coast from Egypt through Gaza and into Israel. Now that water is brackish water, meaning that it is not only fresh water, but also has saline or salt water in it. The water is brackish and contaminated due to seawater intrusion, over extraction, sewage, and chemical infiltration. Now in 1994, sewage and chemical infiltration. Now in
Oh, Mr. Jones. I don't know why Mr. Jones got hate speech. That was unfortunate.
I'd like to interject that when the IDF desalination plant.
No, I want to finish. In 1994, quite literally, the Palestinian people tried to build a water treatment facility. They asked for permits from the Israeli government. The Israeli government granted the permits. They broke ground in 1996. By 1998, the Israeli government came back in with IDF forces, ceased production on the water treatment facility, and never allowed them to resume construction of the water treatment facility. Never allowed them to resume.
What was the cost of that? How much was that?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Doesn't matter.
There's a reason why I'm asking it. It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
The Israelis would not allow them to build the water treatment
You know why I'm
facility.
asking you what's the cost of it? Because the amount of money that the United States has given to Gaza and the European nations has given them. Okay, you know what? You don't like hearing that, right? You like hearing yourself, but you don't like hearing anybody else's opinion. And I'm telling you that the money that they spent on the tunnels to try to infiltrate Israel, they could have spent it on building up a better future.
I want to address the tunnels now. Thank you. So now that's your point made.
Yeah.
The tunnels.
I know you
the
like
tunnels,
to address a lot of things.
The tunnels were built by Israel, and even the former general who had the schematics and the blueprints for them, acknowledged that Israel are the people that built the tunnels. So stop lying.
Okay, let me just prove it to you that you're wrong.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, how did Hamas build the high-tech tunnels? There we go.
In the meantime, everyone tap that screen. Let's get to 1 million likes. Share the live as well, everyone. In the meantime, if you do have any questions, you can put in the comment section, everyone. Or if there's another point that someone wants to bring up on the panel, they can talk right now.
Yeah, so I remember what I had asked Oz about that time that we had a conversation. He didn't answer. He actually answered with Shireen Abu Akleh's funeral. And I told him, why did they take her life, impede the investigation, all right, and then gaslight the whole way, and then attack her funeral that same week to add insult to injury? That's a trend that the IDF has. That not only will they take someone you love, someone respected from your community, but then they'll go and they'll attack the funeral. I have a video of them attacking the cemetery in my village as well. This is something that they do consistently. These things don't always get reported, and they're deliberate antagonization attempts that they mobilize a whole division to move into a village and desecrate the cemetery. It's a legitimate,
I don't know what happened. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so they do that to intentionally antagonize the population, the people in the area, right? So you get fired at if they catch you recording, by the way. So the few videos you'll see of this stuff happening.
Could I just address? I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to address. All right, right here. All right, the Palestinian tunnel warfare and the warfare in Gaza Strip. Okay, a vast network of underground tunnels used for smuggling and warfare exists in the Gaza Strip. The infrastructure runs through Gaza Strip and towards Egypt and Israel, and has been developed by Hamas and the Palestinian military
is bro using Wikipedia for a source?
I mean, is that not good? Is not good enough for you? Want me to go to other sources?
There's a whole Israeli division that's dedicated.
You want me to go to other sources? Is that not good enough for you?
Wikipedia is not a source, my guy.
But obviously it's here. There's the history. Look, I mean, is that not good enough for you?
So Prime Minister Ehud Barak, when he said that they...
Well, if that's the point of contention, hold up. If that's the point of contention, I do think it would probably be better to bring it up on a different source if you'd like to. Do you think that would be okay? Because I think that's the point of contention that they're bringing out.
You can follow the source linked at the end of the statement and see where the source originates from.
Yeah, and that would be?
I'm not sure. I don't know what page he was looking at, but usually it links after the claim.
Yeah, you could look it up. It says Palestinian warfare in Gaza Strip. You can look it up. It's on Wikipedia. If you want, I can look up other sources for you as well.
Sorry.
I mean, would you accept Wikipedia as a source?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
would?
Can I play this right quick? This is the former Prime Minister of Israel. I just want to play it for you guys really quickly. I'll just play the audio.
Can I just start by asking you to what is your view of whether your government, your military, has done a good enough job of proving their claim that there was a major command center and bunker under Al-Shifa?
It's already known for many years that they have in the bunkers that originally was built by Israeli constructors underneath Shifa, or were used as a command post of the Hamas and a kind of a junction of several tunnels, part of the system. I don't know to say to what extent it is a major.
There you go. Said it built bunkers under Al-Shifa Hospital and a system of tunnels. Israel built the system of tunnels. And that's the former Israeli prime minister. So, I mean, if I can't believe him, who am I supposed to believe? They were built in 1983, by the way, just so you know. I'm not the one to play with, my guy.
Do either of you have a response?
No, of course they don't.
Yeah, if H Group was able to build those tunnels in the few short years since the IDF left, they would quite literally be rivaled by literally nothing but the pyramid building. I don't think you understand the limited resources that they had to build it in that time frame. Quite like it would be a marvel of engineering. Just so you understand, I'm not sure if like you could do logical thinking.
So are you denying that the tunnels exist at all?
Nope, never said
No,
that.
I fully acknowledge them. And I respect.
They said they were built by Israel.
They're not wholly built. They're not completely built by
And
Israel.
Oz said that the reason that they didn't build water treatment facilities or any of the other things is because they were too busy building tunnels, which is a lie. The tunnels were already there, built by Israel.
Their point of conversation is quite literally hyperfixate on October 7th. SA get debunked after X amount of time, all right? And then go to why didn't they build a Singapore or a Dubai in Gaza? Quite literally, they'll say Singapore or Dubai in Gaza. They could have had a Singapore or a Dubai. Like in what world? And then you debunk them for a little bit, and then you try to get them to the West Bank. Like, all right, so none of this is happening in the West Bank. Why are they so disenfranchised? Why are farms quite literally being set on fire? Why has Israel chopped down over 1 million olive trees? Why?
Yeah, so for what it's worth, personally, I like to use Monaco as an example. Honestly, I think that what Palestine should do is focus on the West Bank being their hub and then using the Gaza Strip sort of as like a Monaco, the way, Tel Aviv is a large city right on the coast. I think they could use the tourism to really fund an incredible economy, but they choose not to do that.
Hold on. Do you think Israel's going to allow them to, they're not even a nation, number one. So as a place that is not even a nation, do you think Israel's just going to allow them, to build like this tourist destination?
Well,
and who's going to be allowed to come here?
Yep. So if Gaza, if H Group wasn't constantly bombing Israel, who knows what could happen down the road?
Where's the proof that H Group is constantly bombing Israel? Because we have tons of proof of the air raids and the bombs from Israel to the Gazan Strip, but none the other way. And why is it that Israel is constantly investigating itself? Why aren't outside parties allowed to do the investigating?
Yeah, for sure. So are you implying that Israel just uses their Iron Dome for funsies?
Oh my God. Can you answer the question? Why is it that Israel will not let any of these supposed bombings be investigated by outside sources?
That wasn't the question.
It was the question I asked.
No, you made a claim. You implied that H Group does not bomb Israel constantly.
That's not what I said. It's not what I said. I said we have proof of one, and we don't have proof of the other. So if you're going to quote me correctly. And then I said Israel says that they're being bombed, but won't allow anybody outside of Israel do the investigations. Why is that?
Why does that matter? Why does there need to be a third party investigation that they're being bombed when it happens?
If I'm like the police department, if I'm a police department and I keep being accused,
I wasn't done with my statement.
Okay.
What would be the need for the Iron Dome system? Why would they be using that if they weren't being bombed?
So the question right now is specifically the times where Israel states that they're...
Why would Israel need an Iron Dome system if they're not being bombed?
I'm going to answer your question.
Are you saying Hezbollah?
Yeah, another question I have.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me talk.
So the answer to your question is, right, the IDF, the missiles that they've sent to Gaza have turned into missiles that flew back at Israel. All right. First of all, they have been repurposed, redesigned to do so. All right. The missiles that they're taking down came from them first. And the times that they attack and they bombard Gaza, like they did in 2016, 2015, all right, 2010, those times there were no strikes from the Gazan side. There were deliberate antagonization efforts by by the IDF. They attacked the kids on the beach in 2013? They said that there were 5 children playing soccer on the beach. They attacked them with a warship. And they uploaded the video online. They uploaded the video themselves, and they said we took out T's. Now, we as Palestinians, when we watch 5 children on the beach, it was more than 5 children. I think it was 8, by the way, right? And this happened more than once. A clear view of, you could see it from the warship that it's children. You could tell that they're small. You could see the small limbs. And they authorized the strike on video, and they took them out. And they said, oh, they were at an H group installation, which was a small shack, quite literally smaller than a jail cell. All right. So how are we supposed to feel when stuff like this happens to us? And then when H group fires back the missiles that they repurposed, they're the bad guys. That's when they start saying the bombarding started. So I'm not understanding what point it is that you're trying to make. Those children on the beach, they did not deserve to go out the way that they went out. And it was clear as day. And they uploaded it online to show us we are beyond reproach. We could do whatever we want to you. And the world will do. They uploaded the video themselves to say the world will do nothing to stop us. You think we're not going to fight back? You're insane. They did that on purpose.
How old were those children?
Just Google children on the beach of Gaza.
No, I know the incident you're referring to. How old were they? Like 12 and 13?
Varying age.
Okay.
They varied in age. Many of them were younger than 10. Some of them were in even double digits.
Okay, so theoretically speaking, would it not be incorrect to say that criminal organizations have used children in the past?
They were playing soccer on a beach, clear as day.
But you said that they came out of what was identified.
They said there was a shack that was nearby that was an H group installation, and they attacked the children because they left the shack while they were playing soccer on the beach. This is in the video that was uploaded from the warship. They said, oh yeah, they were essentially militants while they're playing soccer. If my children aren't safe to play soccer with their cousins, bro, you're gonna expect a response from me, and it's not gonna be moderate. I'm not like.
I just think it's crazy how they pivoted from one thing. Mish, don't you? Yeah. Like pivoted from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, without addressing that they were wrong about half the things that they say.
It's a 3-step
formula. I didn't pivot for anything. What was
I'll stay on the same topic of the tunnels. I don't have an issue staying on any topic.
We've already addressed that.
Literally the whole dialogue line. Okay. That's the whole dialogue line. I swear to God. It start with October 7th, jump to this, talk about the tunnels, and then Singapore, Dubai, why didn't they build? And they don't want they don't want water for their own people. They don't want water. Excuse me, have you not seen the Red Line document? It was investigated by Israeli sources. Redlining is the most disgusting thing that happened in America. It's one of the most disgusting things in recent history. All right? And it's still reverberating today. Till this day, redlining is still reverberating today.
Hey, Mish, do you think that you can ask them why they think it's okay for Israel to investigate Israel and find Israel not guilty of anything?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. That's what I asked him about with Shireen Abu Akleh. They denied any investigation. Just recently, last month, we were talking about it earlier, they concluded 100% was the Israelis. CNN concluded beyond a reasonable doubt it's the Israelis. And then they attacked the funeral. Oz, what I'm telling you is these are clear, deliberate antagonization attempts carried out by the Israelis specifically to antagonize us and necessitate an attack. If I
What would they get out of what would they get out of antagonizing you guys? What?
that
The
they
land
get where
and the
bad guys-
resources.
They get carte
But if
blanche
they
to do
wanted the
whatever they
land,
want.
if they wanted the land, why is it that in 2005 Israel left Gaza and they gave it back?
To
Why would
isolate
they?
them.
If they,
To isolate them. First of all, nobody wanted to live in Gaza. There was only 8,000 settlers to begin with. There were more soldiers than Gazans.
What,
There
baby?
were more military checkpoints
Go
than
take a night?
houses.
Okay.
First of all,
Oh shit.
there was more military installations than there were settlements and houses and just dwellings in general for the Israelis, the 8,000 that lived there. So they weren't there. It was a military occupation, and they used the few settlers as an excuse to dictate over a population of 1 million plus. So they didn't pull out. They just said, let's completely isolate them. The military checkpoints aren't working. I grew up on videos of people sneaking around in Gaza, kidnapping soldiers. I grew up on videos that were taken off the soldiers, bro. It wasn't working out for them. We got crimes like this that go unquestioned periodically. You are going to get resistance. You are going to get resistance. I just want to know, like, would you fight back if you saw that shit happen to your children on a beach? If Americans in the military base over here who live with their family on military bases and they get attacked, everybody's still mad about Pearl Harbor all these years later. And that was a time of war, and that was essentially a military target.
Everybody's mad about every war. You know, the wars aren't a good thing. Wars are bad for everybody. Nobody wins. Only the people that are supplying the wars are the ones that are winning, because they're the ones that are. Look, you gotta understand one thing, right? Big pharma doesn't want you to be healthy, because if they don't have medicine to sell you, then you're of no use to them. And it's the same thing as with
Do you think
wars
anybody
and
on this panel agrees with Big Pharma at all? Do you think any of us agree with Big Pharma, or just in general big produce?
Try to think outside the box, right? For 1 second. Don't think too much with your emotions right now. Think outside the box, okay? I know you're emotional, and I know you care about your cause, which is perfectly fine. I don't have an issue with that, okay? But you got to understand that there's something bigger that you're not seeing, all right? And the bigger picture is that there's people around their surrounding countries that want this war to exist for their own political agenda and for monetary gain as well, okay? So this is not, and it's coming at the cost of innocent people on both sides, okay? So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that, I'm not coming up here and saying, you know what, look, Israel's 1,000% right. Israel might make mistakes here and there, but at the end of the day, we have a judicial system. So if there was a mistake that was made,
No, I'm going to tell you, you always go
that's
on
going to
the
be
same
acted
tangent. You
accordingly.
always go on the same tangent. If there's a mistake that was made, they'll be held accountable. We don't like our government that's in charge. We don't want them around. It's okay.
Why do you think the United States? Do you think the United States doesn't make mistakes? You don't think that there's been mistakes over
when
here?
your mistake affects millions, and you have a history of not finding yourself accountable at all whatsoever, right? Zero accountability and rewriting history to suit your narrative and the story you want to
You're
sell.
talking about accountability. What was on the 6th
Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second.
What was the purpose of?
Oz, hold on, man,
them
because
attacking Israel?
you're moving past the
we're
like
having a
several points that you just
conversation.
made.
I'm
I know.
having a
We need to focus on the fact that Bibi Netanyahu was literally facing charges, him and his wife, for from essentially stealing money from the government. He was supposed to be facing trial, and then all of a sudden this conflict happens, and poof, it goes away. When is he going to face accountability for the crimes he committed?
Listen, that's for a
You
judicial
want a
system
quote? You
to
want a quote from Netanyahu's investigation
the,
when he was
the
investigated
same
by
way,
Israeli.
the same way that
Listen
Trump
one
right
second.
now is
Listen
in
one second.
court.
Listen one second.
You know,
I'll let
there's
you
a
go off on
judicial
whatever.
system that he has to go through. Okay, and that's not neither for me or for you to determine that. Okay,
Of course.
so that's for the judicial system of Israel to determine. Okay, same way
Let me
that
tell you
right
what he
now
said.
Donald
Let me
Trump
tell you
is
what he
being
said. I have the
tried
quote right
for
in front of
certain
me.
things.
When he was questioned by the people that were investigating him in Israel, he told them, this is his answer. He's like, we have neighbors who are our bitter enemies. I send them messages all the time. These days, right now, I mislead them, destabilize them, mock them, and hit them over the head. The suspect continued his lecture. This is from the police officer's mouth, the Israeli officer. It's impossible to reach an agreement with them. Everyone knows this, but we control the height of the flames. He specifically stated, hey, if I want them to fight, I make them fight. I'll antagonize them. I'll mock them. I'll take their shit. I'm going to make them want to attack us if I need to. We control this landscape in general. So now the question is, how do you feel about your prime minister quite literally saying that he antagonizes them in this manner to force them to necessitate violence, scapegoating the Israeli people?
I don't know where you're getting that source from, so I would have to
You
look
want
into
to
it.
see the source? You want to see the source? I'll show
Okay.
you the source.
Yeah, fine. Show me the source. Absolutely. Show me
This
the
is
source.
during. I got the source right here. Haaretz too, by the way.
That's okay. That's not a source.
Oh,
That's like you were
Haaretz is not
putting
a
on
source now.
Wikipedia.
Neither
No,
is
it's
the
not.
Times of Israel, right? Neither is CNN. Nothing, right? There's no such thing as an official source with you guys.
There's official
Here's
sources,
the
but
thing.
we
When
might
you deny
disagree
a
on
direct
the sources.
statement,
But
when you deny a
we might disagree on
direct
the sources.
genocidal statement like that, right? A direct
But you
statement like
didn't.
that.
You
How
didn't
are we
explain to me.
expected to want to come up to an agreement with you guys? How is it? How
Okay,
how
but
can we even perceive it to be possible?
so now we can agree to disagree, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. All right. Not all I see things the same. All right. You're entitled to see things from your perspective. I'm entitled to see things from my perspective. Now, during the 6-Day War in 1967, right, the Israeli forces occupied the Gaza Strip, and in 1970, Israel built the first Israeli settlement in the territory. Right? Is that what you're saying? Right? By 2005,
I wasn't even. I didn't even mention that.
No. But we were talking about that prior. And by 2005,
You
the Gaza
just
Strip had
you
21
just did
Israeli.
a whole left turn.
Because we're
I'm
not going
just
to agree
saying.
on what
I'm just saying. Look.
we're not going to agree because
Look,
I asked you for the source.
if
You
you
didn't bring
can't
up the source.
engage
I asked you for
in
the
what it is
source.
that we're
I
talking
specifically
about,
asked you for the source.
acknowledge it.
You
Just say, hey, I'm gonna run off on a tangent. I'm gonna go somewhere else because this line of
because
questioning is not gonna work out for
it's
me.
pointless. It's pointless. You're trying to put down the president of Israel, the prime minister of Israel. Okay, which I'm not going to agree with you. Okay, so I asked you for the source. You never brought up the source. Okay,
I
and
said
prior
Haaretz.
to you
You said
saying
that's
that,
not a source. I said Times of Israel isn't a source either,
Haaretz
huh?
is not a source for
Because I
me.
could pull
Not
up
for me.
multiple
Ask
sources.
me.
You denied the
It's not a
source in my
source.
face. You denied the source before I even showed it to you. You said Haaretz isn't a source. Haaretz.
For me, it's not a source. It's not a source for me.
How can an
The
Israeli
same way.
how can an Israeli
When I brought up
company
Wikipedia,
how
you
can
said
an
it wasn't a
Israeli
source for you.
company
I mean,
defame the
come on.
prime minister and face zero repercussions? You can't do that in America, can you? Like ask Parker and Jones. Like, can you defame?
See, here's the thing, right? Yeah. So like, here's the thing.
We're living it now.
Donald Trump
If you
literally
live in
is
the
running
States,
for
you-
president so that he can avoid, you know what I'm saying, like being jailed for all of the corruption and the crimes that he's committed. And the same as goes for Bibi Netanyahu. He was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like they're probably about to wrap me up in all of this corruption. He said, so the best thing to do is, you know, be involved in a conflict. Because guess what doesn't change during a conflict? Guess what doesn't typically change during a conflict? Leadership, right? And so they're like, nah, man, I'm going to go ahead and engage in this conflict with Gaza because it's been part of what I wanted to do all along. And so that's exactly what he did so that he can avoid accountability for his corruption. It's mighty convenient that all of the sudden, you know what I'm saying? Not last year, but right before the conflict started 2 years ago, people are protesting in the streets by the thousands for him to leave office. And now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He's the the greatest leader that Israel's ever seen. It's weird. It's weird how quickly that changed.
Listen, you might not like him right now. Right now, he's the leader of Israel.
Wait, I was gonna say something real quick.
Regardless of whether we agree or disagree on all his political views, we still have to stand behind him. It's same thing that if we have a leader here in the States, we have to stand behind him.
No, we don't have to. No, we don't have to. When we know that they're a bad person, we don't have to stand behind them. That's like saying, oh, well, Schindler's our leader, so we got to stand behind Schindler. You see how ridiculous you sound?
No.
So hold up. I do want to say something real quick. I am gonna be ending the panel here, like in a minute. So I'm gonna let everyone get like their last thoughts in, and then I think that we're going to end it for today. Just letting everyone know.
All right, I'm just gonna say real quick. All right. First of all, Parker, thank you for having me up here. But second of all, I want to let you guys know that if you want peace, okay, you have to advocate against evil, whether it's on whatever side that you can't just come and say, you know what, point the finger at your neighbor and say, you know what, he's the one that's causing the problem. You got to look at a picture as a whole, see where the flaws are, and try to correct them, and maybe then we can have peace. And don't forget, at the end of the day, we're all people, okay? And nobody's perfect. But if you really have peace in your heart, then you just gotta, you gotta go with it, all right? And stop trying to always be correct or politically correct and trying to blame other people. And just love your brothers as you love yourself. That's pretty much it.
Is there anything else anyone else wants to say?
I just want everybody to take note how they don't answer any direct questions. They stick to the same script. They stick to the same few subjects. All right. Look at the tunnels. They're under hospitals. They're behind children. They're in schools. Look at this. Look. Everything is a military installation. So we as Palestinians, when we see that everything that we have, everything that we are, is identified as a military target, don't be mad at us when we militarize. You've treated us as militants our whole lives. Our whole lives.
I honestly would love to see a day that you would have your own state, and I would love for a day to see that you have your own military. So in an event that something like this does occur again, what happened on October 7th, nobody could come back at Israel and say, you know what, they don't have arms. They're a resistance group. I would love for the day to see you guys liberalize and actually have your own state and your own army. So then if something like this does occur, when we bombard it, nobody could ever come back and say to us, oh, you know what, X, Y, Z. It's not going to happen. You got to understand that we're surrounded by 21 Arab states that all of them want to unalive the Israelis or the Jews.
Literally no, like you're under no threat of any of these Arab nations. Like literally nobody is trying to hurt Israel. I'm so tired of you guys trying to make yourselves victims. This shit is crazy to me. Anyways, listen. Hey, listen. The one thing that stands true. Oh, go ahead, Kofi, because Mish wasn't finished. You're right, and Oz cut him off again.
I was gonna say, Mish, did you? I'm so sorry. Oh, so sorry, Jones. Continue, please. Did you want to say it? Did I interrupt you, Jones? Continue.
Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. Have a blessed night. Thank you for having me up.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to say, Mish, did you choose your oppressor?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Did Palestinians in general choose their oppressor?
No.
Yeah. So I don't know why they keep making it like a Jewish thing when Palestinians didn't choose their oppressor. And also, if you feel so threatened by like Arab states around you, like why did you put yourself in that region?
Yeah. Why choose that place? What was Uganda like the first target? I think Uganda was like the first place that they were
Madagascar. They thought of a lot of they were literally country shopping. They're like,
yeah,
Madagascar looks nice year round, but then there was some country in South America as well, and like 2 or 3 African countries.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Argentina,
like the
Argentina, Eritrea, Uganda, Argentina, Eritrea, So here's the thing, right? Fascism is fascism. We know what it looks like because we've seen it multiple times throughout history. And when we see fascism, we need to call it what it is and stop pretending that it's not the thing that we know that it is. Don't allow yourself to be gaslit. Listen, fascists have always been great at propaganda. It's what gave them power in the first place. But Zionism is in fact fascism. And so again, we need to call these things for what they are. And the people that support fascism, we need to, call them for who they are. Nobody is going to fall for your propaganda here in 2024. We all walk around with $1,000 super computers in our pocket, and we have the ability to look up information the same way that you do. Stop fucking reading headlines. Stop using your confirmation bias to form your opinions. The information is readily available. The same way that I was able to obtain it, or Athena's able to obtain it, or Mish, or Parker, or anybody else, you can as well. You choose not to because it does not fit your narrative, and it allows you to continue your fascist ideologies and your fascist agendas. Thank you for having me, Parker. I love you guys. Hey, listen, if you haven't gone to the link in my bio, go to the link in my bio, click on the link Free Palestine, and buy some tickets to try to win.
Do you know how much we raised today?
I think we were like right close to 100.
100 tickets?
I think so. But we could. I'm sure.
How much each are the tickets?
Well, some of them sold for 25 and some of them sold for 50. So I don't know, but just say an average.
So between 2,500 to 5,000.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. Let's say.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much, y'all.
Yeah. So some people bought tickets, some people didn't. I really encourage you guys. 93 tickets total. So guys, go to the link in my bio, click on Free Palestine, buy a ticket. You donating to a great cause, and there's an opportunity for you to win some beautiful artwork. So I love you guys. Drink water, be kind, and don't be a bigot. Stay dangerous.
Yeah, one more thing. Dangerous. Yeah, one more thing. Kobe there and Parker, there was someone from Gaza who wanted to come up real quick. I just seen his message.
What was their name?
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to Muhammad Spear.
All right, I think I see that.
Yeah, let me double check.